Give praise, glory, and honor to Yah of hosts, our Father in the Shamahim, by way of our Master and Savior Yahushua HaMashiach. Try to carry on from some of the things we were talking about throughout this week. John 5:39 says, search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that ye have not the love of Elohim in you. That's what we had to turn around and sit back and look at. You know, he turned around and he told him, I know you. He said, the love of the Most High. Man, that thing there ain't nowhere in you. I'm going to keep going because it's something that I want you to see. He said, I come in my Father's name and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another and seek not the honor that come from Elohim only? Now, I want you to look at something that the Master says over here in the book of Matthew. I might use the book of Luke. Let me see. I might use Luke chapter 5 instead. Let me see if I want Luke chapter 5. You know, when he say that you don't seek the honor that comes from the Most High only, it make me think about something else that we looked at. And I think it's Matthew 11 that I desire. It's Matthew chapter 13 that I desire, and about verse 53. You know, the Master was sitting here telling these people, he said, how can you believe when you seek the honor that comes from man and not the honor that comes from on high? And it's something that the Master about to tell these people. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you some of this stuff about what he finna say. And it came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these parables, he departed thence. And he was coming to his own country. He taught them in their synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished and said, whence hath this man this wisdom and these mighty works? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James, and Joses, and Simon, and Judas? And his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then hath this man all these things? Who remembers? Who has a testimony just like this? We dealt with this a long time ago. I want to see who remembers, who got a testimony just like this. Nah, Joseph ain't the one I'm thinking about. It's somebody else. It's somebody else. You remember who that is, what?
No.
I know it was, huh? When he sat back and he said this right here, he said he did all these wonderful works in the synagogue. They said, is this not the carpenter's son? Is his mother not called Mary? Say his brothers and his sisters, don't we all know him? He coming around here prophesying and doing all this stuff. Who he think he is?
Nah.
You know, it's been a while. I'm just bringing this to your remember because it's been a while. I ain't upset with nobody if they don't remember because it's been a while.
You said it was Joseph.
Yeah. Let's look at 1 Samuel, the 10th chapter. 1 Samuel, the 10th chapter. First Samuel 10 and about verse 10. And it says, and when they came thither to the hill, behold, a company of the prophets met him. The spirit of Elohim came upon him, and he prophesied among them. And it came to pass, when all that knew him before time saw that, behold, he prophesied among the prophets. Then the people said one to another, what is this that is come unto the son of Kish? Is Saul among the prophets? And one of the same place answered and said, but who is their father? Therefore it became a proverb, is Saul among the prophets? And when he had made an end of prophesying, he came to the high place. Don't this sound like the same thing you just heard? They say, well, what's God in to Saul? Who does he think he is? Let's look at verse 24 in this same thing. Let me say, so that's what I want. Yes, that's what I want. And Samuel said to all the people, see ye whom Yahuwah have chosen? There is none like him among all the people. And all the people shouted and said, Elohim saved the king. Then Samuel told the people the manner of the kingdom and wrote it in a book and laid it up before Yahuwah and sent all the people away, every man to his house. And Saul also went home to Gibeah, and there went him a band of men whose hearts Elohim had touched. A band of men whose hearts the Most High touched went with him. That don't sound like none of y'all. Hey, little buddy. That don't sound like none of y'all. There it is. That's the master and his disciples. But listen to the next thing he said. But the children of Belial said, how shall this man save us? And they despised him. And they brought him no presents, but he held his peace. Come back to Matthew 13. Why is that important? Now he said, how is this man going to save us? You know, if they were men of Belial, you know what they were, right? Look at 1 John 3 and 8. If you don't know what if they were men of Belial, what they would be. Is that for potty? That's not for potty. Give me a second. 3 and 5 is better. 1 John 3 and 4. And it says, whosoever commits sin transgress also the law. For sin is also transgression of the law. For sin is transgression of the law. And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. They just asked the question, how will this man save us? So they hated him. Don't you realize that you have a lot of Israelites right now, they always talking about, what did your JC, what did your Messiah do? He ain't save us. He say, well, how you going to believe when you see honor that come from a no good nigga just like you? He say, and you know that he was manifested to take away our sin, and in him is no sin. What does this take you back in your mind to, you know, he was manifested to take away sin, and in him is no sin? Considering what we looking at this week. I also want to touch on the thing of what we were looking at as far as the difference between, some of y'all probably seen Yom Kippur, and I just didn't go into it, when it's actually Yom Kippur. You know what I'm talking about? And Kippur means way more things than the word Kippur means. I don't even think Kippur has a meaning to it, to be honest. But what did it take your mind to? You know he was manifested to take away sin, and in him is no sin. Think to the law. Think to the law. What in the law though? That scapegoat. Was it any sin in that scapegoat? That scapegoat was manifested. Understand, where did the scapegoat go at? All the sins were put on the scapegoat, and where the scapegoat sent to? But it's specifically where it mentioned to send the scapegoat to. Outside the camp, but where he got to be sent to. In the wilderness. And what is the wilderness called, gentlemen, in our law? What they called it? You know what I'm saying? So he was manifest, he became sin, and was manifested to take away sin, to remove that from the camp. That's what the scapegoat was for. That's what the atonement is for. When these people seen King Saul, you got to remember, if Saul may have been an idiot, but it's still things, he was, because he was told to do certain things and didn't do them. You know what I'm saying? Which, hold on, at the same time, I don't want nobody to be laughing, because at the same time, that's what y'all do. Y'all can be told explicitly, don't do this, don't do that, but you go do it anyway, and then you be like, I did the will of Yah, just like he did. Just like he did. Some of y'all know y'all been explicitly told, don't do this right here, or don't fool with this right here, or wait on that right there, or leave that alone, don't mess with that, no matter what it might be.
Put it down.
But you go do it anyway. And then you try to convince yourself that y'all wanted you to do that, when the whole time, that's what you wanted to do. See, matter of fact, hold it for John, and let's go look at Saul doing that in the 14th chapter of 1 Samuel. That's why I told you, hold on, don't sit back and speak, because some of y'all looking with this doo-doo face right now, because you know you've been told not to do certain things, and you go do it anyway. First Samuel 14, is that what I desire here? No, let's go on ahead and get straight on to the root, and right on here in 15. in verse 1. And let's just go ahead and look what he say. Samuel said unto Saul, Yahuwah sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Yasharal. Now, therefore, hearken thou unto the voice of the words of Yahuwah. Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Yasharal, and how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Mizraim. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. Hold on, y'all, excuse me. Excuse me. Now, let's go on down here, and let's look at verse 8, or verse 9, in the 15th chapter. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and of the lamb, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refuse, that they destroyed utterly. Then came the word of Yahuwah unto Samuel. It repent me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Yahuwah all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of Yahuwah, I have performed the commandment of Yahuwah. And Samuel said, What mean these bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen, which I hear? Now, ain't that something? Y'all heard what he was told to do, right? And he went and did the exact opposite. And when he seen Samuel, what the first thing did nigga say out of his mouth? I did what I was told. And what was Samuel's response was? Well, why I hear? Come over here to Matthew 21. He said, well, why I hear all this here then? You still hold 1 John 3. See, that's what y'all need to sit back and look at. Man, you're not actually doing what y'all telling you to do if you already been instructed not to do something, you go do it anyway. You think it make it better because some time went past? Let me make sure this is what I desire. Matthew 21 and 27. Matthew 21 and 27. It says, and they answered Yahusha and said, we cannot tell. And he said unto them, neither tell you by what authority I do these things. But what think you? A certain man had 2 sons, and he came to the first and said, Son, go to work today in my vineyard. And he said, I will not. But afterwards he repented and went. And he came to the second and said likewise. And he answered and said, I go, sir, and went not. Which of them of the twain did the will of his father? Now you got one who got told to do something. He said he didn't want to do it, but what did he end up doing? Doing what he was told. Then you had one that said, I'm going to do it. But then he went and did what he wanted to do. Which one of them did the will of their father, though? You know, that's how some of y'all be when I tell y'all certain stuff, and you be like, I'm going to do it. But then as soon as you walk off, you go do exactly what it is you were going to do in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And just like he said, well, what authority you got to tell me to do that? Since you can't answer that, I'm not going to tell you what authority I got to tell you to do that. One thing for certain and 2 things for sure. I ain't going to tell you nothing that's going to hurt you. The thing that you might desire to want or have or to do, you might end up getting it. You know what I'm talking about? But since you don't want to listen and follow instructions, you're not going to get it. Or it's not going to go how you want to go, or everything you touch going to fall apart because you don't listen. I think sometimes, man, the Most High just do certain stuff, man, just to see if you're going to listen or not. A lot of you niggas don't follow directions. Simple ones at that. You can't follow directions. How do you expect to obtain an eternal spirit of the eternal being and you can't follow directions? You out of order. Your whole thing is, let me get what I want. Let me do what I want. And as long as I get that, that's all that matters. 1 John 3 again. Let me finish that. Because the man asked a simple question, didn't he? Which one of them did the will of his father? Which one? The one that said, I ain't going to do it, but went and did it? Or the one who said, I'm going to do it, but didn't do it? Because you just seen that with Saul. Saul said, I'm going to go do it, but he didn't do it. Had to get you some too, huh? Protection, huh? Okay then. Verse 5. And you know that he was manifested to take away our sin, and in him is no sin. Whosoever abide in him sin not. Whosoever sin have not seen him, neither known him. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that do righteousness is righteous even as he is righteous. He that commits sin is of the devil. For the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose, the Son of Elohim was manifested that he might destroy the works of the devil. So you got to realize now, y'all know what John 8:44 say. You are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. So when you don't do what y'all prescribed for you to do, then guess who your daddy is? I mean, you got to understand something, man. If you sit back and you believe that Yah is with me or in me, and I'm telling you something, then obviously you would have to believe that he the one telling you that. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you stuff, and it's my personal opinion or what I think, but you can do what you want to do. But if I tell you something as it pertaining to your salvation, I'll sit back and tell you, man, I'm letting you know, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Do not do that. But y'all don't listen because you think you smarter than me. You think you smarter than him. And when it with simple stuff like that about not following instructions, ain't no way in the world you're gonna save your soul. I don't care how much junk you say out your mouth, all that type of stuff. You know, you can make your mouth fry fish. You know what I'm saying? Come on back over here to Matthew 13, though. See, them people say, how can this man save us? Look what these people turned around and said to this man when he got finished talking to him. They say, man, don't we know his mama and daddy? Who he think he is? I don't know who he think he is. He done went stark mad. Verse 56 of the 13th chapter of Matthew. He says, sisters, are they not all with us? And whence then hath this man all these things? And they were offended in him. Weren't they offended in Saul? Hold on. Now, somebody just broke wind. And it's not the issue of the broken wind. It was the fact that she was like, ugh. So this is what made me think that's what you did.
No, definitely wasn't me.
So she turned around and said, ugh, out of her own flatulence.
She didn't say ooh, she said ooh.
Oh.
Like that was relief.
She was relieved. You know, Lizzie a little sick in here. I thought she done heard her daddy poop. And she like this here, ugh. No, but she just. I mean, it sounded like baby flatulence. That's why I had to stop. That didn't sound like grown people flatulence. That stuff, that ginger must got you on point now, Lizzie. You feeling better, huh? Yeah, Lizzie a little under the weather. She looked like she bouncing back though. 57, Matthew 13. And they were offended in him, but Yahushua said unto them, a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. Now, what you think that mean when he told them that? A prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. Huh? Not just a full-time meaning, he sit back telling you, I'll get more respect from outside people than the people that I came to. The people who I live with, the people who I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to show you. Now, y'all should sit back and look at it. You can see, look at that. You can see Saul. Saul, he said he was getting honor, not in his own house, though. Who you think you is? You can't save us. We ain't bringing you no presents. Let's look at Moses. Let's come over here. Let's go look at Numbers chapter 12. And after that, get you 1 Kings 19. Let's look at Elijah. 12:1 number. Hey, little buddy. Look how he looking at you. He's looking at that cup you got there. So why don't you share with him? So how about you share with your boy?
Yeah. Look. Hey, Pops.
Hey, little buddy. It's a grown man over there. Yeah, talking about you. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, hath Yahuwah indeed spoken only by Moses? Have he not spoken also by us? And Yahuwah heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which are upon the face of the earth. So he said, this is a humble man, and they speaking against him. You know, the same way that Korah them came up against him. Say you take too much on you. All these men sitting back look at all the stuff Moses did, and he was not without honor in his own house, even in his own country, amongst his own people. Look at Numbers 11:1 and look at all. Now we just taking a snapshot of the people speaking against his own brother and sister talking against him. That's his own household. They talked against him. We ain't read further down where y'all told him. He said, man, I speak to Moses face to face, not in similitudes, but plainness of speech. Huh? Ain't that what he said? He said, I speak to him mouth to mouth. He behold the similitude of y'all. He said, whoever's a prophet, I appeared to him in a vision or a dream. He told him, you ain't scared to talk against my servant Moses. You ain't scared to do that. See, but I ain't talking about just the speaking against. It's the fact they wasn't even respecting his authority. They felt like, who is this nigga? Who does he think he is? Y'all speak by us too. Who does he think he is? This is going back to looking at the framework of what he talking about is a prophet's not without honor in his own house, because they were offended at him. And when you get offended at him, that means you're really not going to listen to what he got to say. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way how the people were looking. We don't really got to listen. I don't really care what he says or what directive that he gives, because I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? See, you know, in Hebrews 13, he tells you to obey them that have rule over you because they watch for your soul before they have to give account. So if you told not to do something or to do something and you do the opposite, you just committed sin. It doesn't matter if the person that told you to do that authority figure knows or doesn't know that you did it. You still sin because you were told not to do that. At the same time, you can do what you want to do. But if you're going to save your soul, you're going to have to do what the word say. And it don't matter where you at. It don't matter what congregation you could be a part of. That rule is, for lack of a better term, universal. You know what I'm saying? That don't matter if you're in a congregation in Japan or a congregation in Mississippi or a congregation in Saudi Arabia or a congregation in Nova Scotia. You're going to have to submit to leadership. You just can't do what you want to do. If you want to do what you want to do, you could have stayed in the streets for that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to sit back and look at that. If the Most High put it in the man of y'all head to tell you something, it's for a reason. I know a lot of y'all think that you get told not to do stuff because I may not want you to do it, or I got an ulterior motive in this here. I'm just sitting back looking at the situation. I know how this gonna roll. And if the man tell me or put it in my mind like this here, tell him this here, or tell him that there. And I'm gonna tell you that. What you do after that is on you. I ain't gonna tell you but a couple times not to do something. Then after that, you can do what you want to do. And I hope it blow up in your face like an atomic bomb for being stupid. Because I ain't got to be told but one time not to do something. Because it might be something that I can't see that this person can see. Because especially if you got tunnel vision and you warped in and you want it so bad, sometimes you can't see the stuff that you need to see.
Hey. Get away from all that coffee.
You know what I'm saying? And usually when you want something so bad, and that's the only thing consuming your thoughts, that you want that, you're not going to see everything, because you only going to see what you want to see. You're not going to see the whole picture. And this ain't got just to deal with no relationships either. This just period. No matter what it is. You can want something bad enough and it really don't be good for you. There's some things you can want bad, and that's an obsession. And there's nothing wrong with being obsessed to achieve that. But some things, you got to be careful, because you got to be paying attention and focus. Like I told y'all earlier, I done told T plenty times, don't get wrapped up in me. Plenty times. How many of you brothers done looked your woman in the face and told her, don't get wrapped up in me? Don't get too involved and wrapped up in me. See, some of y'all women will hear that and thinking that man don't love you or he don't want you. That's not what he's telling you when he's telling you that. He's telling you to keep perspective.
You can't be coughing in front on your brother.
You know what I'm saying? To keep focus on whatever you need to be focused on. You know what I'm saying? That you don't get so wrapped up and lost in this man that you lose sight on the things that you need to accomplish as a woman, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Because a man don't need to get so wrapped up in a woman, he lose focus on the things that he need to do as a man. You got to know how to strike that balance. I know the first couple times I told T that, you know, she reacted in her manner till I really explained to her what I meant when I was telling her that. Because it can happen real fast. You can find yourself lost in somebody. And when you find yourself lost in somebody, you actually don't end up losing yourself. What? You know what I'm saying? You can lose yourself. You can lose sight on all the things. Like, I would never want T to be wrapped up in me that if there's a desire or something she wanted to accomplish, she couldn't get that done. Because she worried about where I'm at and being with me and doing this and this, that, there, and the other. No, I need you to stay focused on what you need to do.
Little man.
I always wanted to keep that perspective. I don't never want her to lose that. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way as a man. I can't lose. I know it's things that I want to do for her and I must do for her just because that's just a natural thing to do. As far as providing and protecting for her. You know what I'm saying? But it's certain things she'll be like, well, I don't get to talk to you as much now because I got things that I'm trying to accomplish. As much as I love, I can't talk to you 24/7. You know what I'm saying? It's things I'm trying to get done, that I'm moving to get done and working towards to get done. I can't get them done up your butthole. You know what I'm saying? I can't get them done. Yeah, I'd like to be with you every day. That's not feasible at this particular time. It's things that's got to get accomplished. There's no way in the world I could be with you every day. If I'm with you every day, the things that must be accomplished can't get accomplished. Because I'm sitting here worrying about you. Then we ain't going to never get nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to take into account the most important thing we involved with, period. And that's your soul. You know, I just read that to y'all a couple weeks ago. It's easier for a single person to get saved because they can serve the Most High without distraction. Because when you're married, you got to seek how you can please your husband and please your wife. At this point in time, for those of y'all that's not married, you got the time to be focused on the Most High. But you so worried about the person you like or you want to be with, you losing focus on that. And you're going to burn in hell behind it. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to balance the two. And if you can't feel like you can't balance the two, you might need to fall back from that. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to balance the two. You got to. You got to. You know, this something tell you something, and y'all can, and you women, and you men if you want to, you can ask T, she could tell you, man, I done stressed this for her from day one. You got to know how to balance the two, because I know how to balance the two. But I stressed to her, you got to know how to balance the two. Because for me, her soul salvation is more important than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So you had to look at that. So you know, there's certain things, me and her, you're not going to be able to do that. I sit here and tell y'all, man, 'cause I know, man, I know how some of y'all live. Y'all around here with that puppy love looking crazy, all the type of stuff. You be around here looking like a fool on the last day. You like, boy, I put too much time thinking about this woman. Then I'm sitting here telling you already when you get married, then it's really get real in. I just was telling Troy that last week. Because, you know, I was messing with him. We was serious, though. He was just a little scared. You know what I'm saying? Because there's two things that Dwight noticed him. Because, shoot, he done already experienced them. And some of y'all on here done already experienced them. And some of y'all want to experience them. It's two things a man can never be fully prepared for. And that's being a husband and that's being a father. Even if you know, hey, I'm getting married on such and such day, you're never fully prepared to be a husband till you actually are a husband. You know what I'm talking about? You can have the preparation and the information given to you, but you'll never really know what it's like to be a husband till you are a husband. You'll never know what it's like to be a father till you are one. It's a scary proposition. I wouldn't care how much money you had put to the side. I wouldn't care how many Pampers you had bought, how much insurance cover you had, how many clothes you done bought, how many strollers and carriages and all the type of stuff you might got. Boy, it ain't like this here. When that baby go to coming about that womb and you look at it, that's when you get this one thing that hit your head. It just got real. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that say they finna get married or have a child, know a child come and say they ain't scared, they lying. Unless they say you don't, even if it's your second or third go round on the kids, I mean. Talking about no marriages now. You know what I'm saying? You still gonna be a little nervous. I think if y'all have another one, you shouldn't be nervous on that one.
No. Still
I mean, a little trepidation. How I'm gonna feed this nigga, but
that's about it. That's the main thing.
That's all that's gonna be. How I'm gonna feed it. But the main trepidation you will have, like with the first one, you're not really gonna have that on the second, third, fourth, and on down the line. We ain't gonna get by here old school black people talking about 10, 11, 12. Look how she looked at him. Say, I ain't pushing no 10 babies up out of here. I ain't pushing no 10 babies up out of here. She said, I'm moving to the country. I ain't having no more of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? But I'm for real though. Look at Numbers 11 and 1 though. He say, and when the people complained, it displeased Yahuwah. And Yahuwah heard it, and his anger was kindled. The fire of Yahuwah burnt among them and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. And the people cried unto Moses, and when Moses prayed unto Yahuwah, the fire was quenched. And the name he called the name of the place Taberah, because the fire of Yah burnt among them. He said he went ahead and killed these people because they were complaining and murmuring against Moses and talking all type of trash. And he said he sent fire down and killed them. Now, you know, I was just talking to y'all about good old Pope Francis. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't call him know what his real name is because his real name ain't Francis. You know, you can't trust that nigga named Francis anyway. Grown man named Francis? That's a woman's name. How many of y'all know dudes named Francis?
Steve Francis.
No, I'm talking about first name. He said, you got an Uncle Francis, he wicked. I have to tell you, remember, I think I was telling y'all about that time when my homeboy was in the clothing store and dude walked up on him and talking about, you remember me? You remember me? And he swung on the nigga talking about, you robbed me. That nigga name was Francis. That nigga was drugstore cotton soft though. He was talking about extra soft. He'll shoot a nigga, but he was a coward though. And he was only gonna shoot you because he was scared. You know what I'm talking about?
He'll shoot a nigga though.
Yeah, he was. You run up on him, he's scared, or he gonna shoot you. Like you talking about just
that's most niggas though.
No.
No, more like most niggas nowadays, they go shoot because of fear. Yeah, there's very few trained killers out there.
That's what I mean. Most
niggas out there, they gonna shoot out of fear.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. See, what I'm talking about is the difference is you got fear and on the fact this nigga trying to do something to me, but I ain't gonna shoot him out of fear. I'm gonna shoot him out of
oh, it's either you or me.
Yeah, I'm gonna hurt you before you hurt me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See, and then
it's three.
Yeah, and then you got stone cold killers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would just eliminate you and go home and take a poop and smoke a cigarette and wouldn't even thought nothing of it. You know what I'm saying? Straight up down. I'm like, you got dudes that take somebody's life, go on. Like them boy that shot that boy 21 times. Them boy probably went home and thought about like it was nothing.
Boy, play mad.
She went up there and played mad, probably laughing about it. Boy, you seen how his body was moving, girl. He was running up out that truck trying to get away. Boy, I was gunning at that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And somebody who's sitting there, they be like, you know what? First chance I get, I need to leave this room. Because these niggas is crazy. You know what I'm saying? There's some crazy people out here. But when you got to, I'm talking about a coward. Meaning he wouldn't kill nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't gonna hit nothing, ain't gonna fight nothing, ain't gonna kill nothing, ain't gonna let nothing be killed. You know what I'm talking about? But because of that fear, you know what I'm talking about? It's like this. I'm telling you, man, the most dangerous man to ever encounter is a man who is feared, is scared. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done seen cats in the coma?
Come out fighting.
Scratching, clawing, because all they sitting back looking at, I got to get out of here. That's a dangerous man. That's a dangerous man. You know what I'm saying? But when you sit back and you look at Pope Francis, you out of all, because the popes get to choose their name. You know what I'm telling you? They get to choose like the Pope before him, his name was Pope Benedict. His real name was Joseph Ratzinger. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know what this Pope's name is, but he chose Francis. Francis. Grown man named himself Francis. I want to show y'all something, though, man, what you ought to be looking for. I mentioned this to you before, I mentioned it to you again. Daniel chapter 8. We still holding 1 Kings 19 to look at Elijah. But Daniel chapter 8. She was feeling like her mama just did. 8 and 23. She said, I just want to be like my mommy. What you trying to take off? Yeah, Lindsay should pop out. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full. You see the key thing that he said? When the transgressors are come to the full. Hold this. In Jeremiah 50, about 35. She said, the lenses ain't in, I don't want them.
You must have got it, huh?
Listen to what it says here in Jeremiah 50 and 35. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith Yah, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, upon her princes, upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is a land of graven images. They are mad upon their idols. You already said her waters will be dried up. Don't you know they say over there the Euphrates and all them waters over there, they drying up, ain't them? No. You know what I'm saying? They can dry anything, just dry it on up. All of them ought to die. Get your Revelation 16 before I come back to Daniel 8. 16 and 12. And the sixth Malachim poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirit of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of Elohim Almighty. And behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watch and keep his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Now, I done explained this to some of y'all before. Why these people tell you Armageddon is a battle when they tell you it's just a place where the battle gonna be fought? Y'all do know that, right? How many of y'all have heard the Battle of Armageddon? They make it seem like it's just a battle that's gonna take. They actually had a movie called Armageddon, didn't it? Did that movie, did that battle take anywhere near where the book say it's supposed to take place at? I don't know. I didn't watch the movie either. But if it's near the river Euphrates, you know it's got to be in what they call the Middle East. It's got to be near Babylon, near the land, right? You know the river Euphrates is the great river you read about in the law, right? In Genesis chapter 2, right? Say he'll dry it up. Just what you seen him say, and he say a sword to be brought on that place. And if a sword being brought on all the liars and all the mingled people in the midst of it, what you think in the middle of Babylon? What y'all think in the middle of Babylon? Ain't there's a whole bunch of mingled people? Man, even if you were to go overseas in Iraq and in the area, it's a whole bunch of mingled people over there right now. Don't you realize with that war going on over there, all these vultures done swoop in there to try to get them some money out of this? How many of y'all seen that photograph of that American soldier standing on all them gold bars of Saddam Hussein's? You ever seen that picture? Man, that's a white dude standing on so many gold bars, it don't make no sense. But Saddam had much cash. He had a lot of money. That's why they killed him. You know what I'm saying? So let me tell y'all something how these people roll. How they play and manipulate with your mind. I done explained this to y'all before, but I'm explaining it to you again. How many of y'all familiar with the Iraq-Iran war? Anybody on here familiar with the Iraq-Iran war? In the 80s, there was a war going on. And you know who the United States helped fund in that Iraq-Iran war? They funded Iraq. They funded Saddam Hussein. Do you know in the 1980s there was a battle between the Soviet Union and Afghanistan? Y'all familiar with that? Some of y'all seen the movie about it. What the dude name was? Tom Hanks' character name was? Charlie's War, whatever the name of the war. They made a movie about it. And there was a group called the Mujahideen. And you know who was the head of the Mujahideen? Osama bin Laden. And you know who funded Osama bin Laden? The United States of America. And then you know what the United States of America likes to do with people when you no longer serve any usefulness or any purpose? We eliminate you. You know what I'm saying? Well, they didn't call, I'm going to tell you somebody else they did this too. Manuel Noriega. Y'all know who that is. He was in Panama. He was a general. He was a drug lord. Gaddafi was never down with these people. They blamed Gaddafi for a bombing of a particular airplane in the 80s. I remember when it happened. I was a little boy though. And it blew up over somewhere in Scotland and they say he did it. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think he probably had anything to do with it, but he was never down with these people. Manuel Noriega was a drug lord. He was a general of the Panamanian Army, and he was a drug lord. He was George Bush homeboy until the Iran-Contra scandal went down, and then George Bush gave Manuel Noriega up. You know what I'm saying? And they hunted Manuel Noriega down, and they locked him up in prison. He got out of prison probably about 10 some odd years ago. But once he didn't serve them any more purpose, they locked him up. Some of y'all done sat back and watched many spy movies and all that old espionage type crap, and you done seen them do stuff like that. I even think in the last Taken movie, didn't they come to try to kill the dude? Three, I believe. I didn't see three either, but I'm just going by the trailer. Leah, cut it off for me, please. Thank you. What I'm sitting here telling you is you can't get so caught up in all these people you see like this here, man. You be like, oh, Obama the beast, Obama's this, or Pope Francis is this, or this person is this. Man, them people just trot that person out there because there's somebody else they got in the cut that they feel like can work you a little better. You know what I'm saying? I know T was telling me she left that conspiracy theory stuff alone when them niggas said something was going to happen with the Super Bowl and it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? They were like, they're going to blow the Super Bowl up. She said, I don't even watch the Super Bowl. She said, I was watching it that night. And she watched a good game. 49ers and Ravens, that was a good game. It's a very entertaining spectacle. You know what I'm talking about? But by the time it got finished, the only thing she seen was when the lights went off. And boy, them niggas on Facebook were going stark mad crazy with them. It's going down, bro. I don't know what's going on. It's going down. Only thing went down is the light went off. And the game was delayed about 30, 45 minutes. That was it. Just like today, September 25th now it's September 26th. And what everybody was going on? Boy, the economy gonna collapse. CERN, I don't even know what CERN was. Any of y'all know what CERN was? Because I didn't know what it was. Okay, so CERN was trying to recreate the Big Bang Theory. So they were going to do that, and an asteroid was coming for Earth. Yeah. And it was going to crash to Earth. You know what I'm saying? All these things supposed to went down this month, and guess what, y'all? It ain't happened. They said during Unleavened Bread, when there was a blood moon, that something was going to happen. Like, you had dudes based on these false prophecies that these dudes were talking about. They thought a Mashiach was coming back. They thought he was coming back. They thought he was coming back. Talking about, let's get ready for our Exodus. Niggas was, and you know the crazy part is, all the niggas who was promoting that stuff, I ain't seen them say nothing about it. They didn't say they were wrong. They just glossed over it and just kept on going as if they never put this stuff out here. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna ride that hard for something like that and just overlook the fact this didn't happen? Hold what you come over here to Deuteronomy 18 and 17. You can't gloss over that, man. I'm telling you, I'm talking about, it's a nigga on my page. That nigga went hard about that stuff. Boy, that stuff ain't happened. That nigga done jumped on to something else. Ain't mentioned like, bro, all that stuff you were posting for the last 45 days, bro, it didn't happen.
Last 45 days. But that's a long time to be posting about something, man.
What?
It's like 45 days.
Boy, it might have not been 45 days. It sure seemed like it. Oh, so she say it was supposed to open the gates of hell. That just make me think about that CO when I was in prison. Old white lady looked like she had one leg longer than the other. Fat, nasty lady. Stringy blonde haired woman. She sat back and came up to us while we were lined up on the basketball court. She said, "Welcome to hell." I said, "Oh my goodness, she looked like the gatekeeper." Deuteronomy 18 to 20. I wouldn't know, but we was at Lake Butler, man. You don't want to get too crazy at Lake Butler because they notorious for beating black men to death. Yeah, that's what they did at that prison. They beat men to death. Shoot, you ain't have to hold your peace. I remember there was a dude say, man, I came through here and they asked me where I was from, and he said Miami. He said, the CO said, my man slapped 5 from me. No, they had a little jar they had full of all the dudes' gold teeth who they knocked out their mouth. He said, listen what he say, but the prophet which I presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that should speak in the name of other powers, even that prophet shall die. Don't you realize Pope Francis is going to hell? He's speaking in the name of, guess what? Every one of these dudes that's speaking in the name of Jesus is done. They said there was a stampede at Mecca at the Hajj. About 300 people died. And guess who they blamed it on? All them people died at that pilgrimage at Mecca. Guess who they blamed it on? Black people. It's been a good month for them. You know what I'm saying? It's called a Hajj. You know what I'm saying? But they blamed it on African immigrant. Because, you know, it's a lot of our people over there. I be telling y'all be forgetting about that Arab slave trade. It's a lot of us over there. A lot of them go over there to that pilgrimage to Mecca. And when that stampede went down, they blamed you. See, y'all don't realize you get blamed for when stuff go bad no matter where it happened at. Verse 21, and if thou shalt say in thy heart, how shall we know the word which Yahuwah have not spoken? When a prophet speak in the name of Yahuwah, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yahuwah have not spoken. But the prophet has spoken presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. These niggas told you meteorites were coming. These niggas told you the gates of hell were going to open. They were like, Hamashiach coming back? These dudes would say, get ready for the second Exodus. Do you realize how powerful that is? Look at Jeremiah 50. I mentioned that second Exodus to y'all. We still holding 1 Kings 19 and all. That's probably about it. Don't hit her. How you doing, Tony? Tony, I see. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that. That's usually what's going on. They sign a free trade agreement. They usually making financial agreements for stuff to go down because one of the Rothschild family members years ago said, if you give me control of a nation's currency, he said, I don't care who makes the laws. So when these people sit around, they sit around in their little round tables and they talk to each other, you know what I'm saying? And they come up with stuff to where they can pretty much influence the economies worldwide to get them to do what they want them to do. You know what I'm saying? Like what went on in Greece, you familiar with what happened in Greece? Well, in Greece, their economy got so bad that when people went to try to take their money out the bank, they couldn't. You know what I'm saying? The inflation was real bad. They were defaulting on they debts. And there was a little chaos in the street. You know what I'm saying? Even borderline food shortages. You know what I'm saying? So they do these little test runs in these places just to see how people will react. It also, just like a couple weeks ago, they were talking about how the stock market here in America, like the prices dropped real fast because something that was going on in Asia, because they do stuff in certain places at certain times just to see the type of reaction they'll get out to people. You know what I'm saying? See, people in America real happy that the gas real low. But yet at the same time, other stuff is gotten higher. You know what I'm saying? So you sit back looking at gas, $1.95. Yeah, but milk $4.75. You know what I'm saying? Or bread is $3, $4 a gallon. I mean, a loaf. You know what I'm saying? So, what? Well, I mean, we know that, but that's not, them making the money is not even the issue. They trying to push your button. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see how nervous they can get people to get. See, it's all the thing that they call problem, reaction, solution. We create a problem to get a reaction out of the people and give them a solution to the problem that we created in the first place. So when you turn around and you looking for gates of hell and you looking for asteroids and meteorites, just a couple years ago, them niggas was waiting for Nibiru. Like literally. Like, boy, they seen something on the radar, bruh. Real big, headed this way. And guess what? When it didn't come, them niggas glossed right over that. What happened to the mothership? You know what I'm saying? Just like what Tony was just mentioning. When you see them dudes posting all that stuff from YouTube and all this stuff, you best believe something going on. And whatever it is not what they talk about. You know what I'm saying? Something is going on. Don't you realize, man, that if I'm going to do something evil, I ain't going to put it out there in the open what I'm doing. Jeremiah 50:3. Not at all. I mean, they want you to know about it, but they don't want you to really know about it until it's too late for you to react on it. So you don't really have no choice but to take the solution that they done gave you. You know what I'm saying? See, the difference between us and them is if we dealing with y'all, Hamashiach told you, I have told you before, meaning I'm preparing you for this before it happens. You know what I'm saying? Even when you look at before Hamashiach came and did everything he came to do, he had to be prepared for it before he came and did it. He just didn't come do it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff got to be laid out, planned, prepared. Then I told you before, lack of proper planning leads to piss poor performance. If you properly prepared, it's easier to do things. They always talk about how great Tom Brady and Peyton Manning is, and the number one thing they always talk about is their preparation. Because there was nothing that could come up which they wouldn't be ready for. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times what get our people in trouble is stuff come up because we didn't prepare ourselves for it. You know what I'm saying? So when it come up, we don't know how to react to it. It's kind of like how Kirk Cousins was looking yesterday on that game. Did you watch that game? He sucks. Huh? But he wouldn't put the ball.
He put the ball to the right place. He just threw a bad pass.
Well, you know, the government shutdown going on, that's normal. I'm going to tell y'all something. Government shutting down happens all the time. Happens more often than you think. All that means when a government shutdowns, all that means is they hadn't agreed to a budget. So that means all government employees won't get paid. That's all that means.
Yep. We damn sure almost went ham on crackers. When I was in tech school, they weren't trying to pay us.
Yeah, I don't know if they get back pay or not.
Yeah.
They do? Okay. So that's all that means. So if you see government shutdown, no need to go crazy, because that's all that means is you little niggas ain't getting paid. But when we come up with a budget, you getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So you just look at it as, I got a couple weeks of free vacation. Hope you
still gotta work.
Oh, some of them, they ain't no working, don't even come here.
Oh, you still gotta work.
Like maybe in the army.
You definitely gotta work.
Maybe in the army. But I know my homegirl that worked for the Air Force booking flights, she wasn't going to work. She was like, they said she was hot too. She was like, nigga, my rent due. Y'all better tighten up. Because she worked for the federal government. You know what I'm saying? No, they say the parks people weren't working either. But the army, you working, sir.
Straight up.
Military, ain't no off, nigga. Go clock in and get my money. Because I'm praying for women. Blessing the hoes. You know what I'm saying? That was a funny picture to me, boy. If they ain't had no cuss word in it, I'd have shared it too. Because that was funny to me. That nigga say, I'm around here blessing the women, praying for hoes. Say, riding down the street in my 6'4". And they got Pope Francis in the car like this here with his hands out. That nigga say, blessing the women, praying for hoes. Boy, the internet is undefeated. You hear me? Psalm 53. I mean, Jeremiah 53. It's undefeated. He say, for out of the, make it two. Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded. Medrach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north there come up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate. None shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. In those days and in that time, saith Yahuwah, the children of Yasharal shall come, they and the children of Yehuda, going and weeping. They shall go and seek Yahuwah their Elohim. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come, let us join ourselves to Yahuwah in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountain. They have gone from mountain to mountain, from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. Get out, Stanks. Now, what does that sound like to y'all? I know I was just talking to y'all about this the other day. What did it sound like to some of y'all? What did it sound like to y'all? What did he just say that our people would go do? I'm talking about before that. He didn't say, he said they've gone from, he said they would come and say, how do we get to Zion? Listen to what he tell them that you gonna do. They will go weeping and ask their way to Zion. What that sound like to y'all? That sound like we will be leaving from wherever we were at to get back to where we came from. And he said when we get there, we will be joined in a continual covenant. See, I'm going to tell you something. John 7:37. We'll get to 1 Kings 19 eventually, if y'all permit. See, two y'all want to play bumper cars. John 7:37. And in that last day, that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believe on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. If it's rivers of living water, what is it? What is that? What's another way to describe that? Continual. If it's a perpetual covenant, then what is it? What I just told you the other day when we were talking, that the spirit before Mashiach came, it was temporary. It was not continual. You even seen that when we were reading about Saul. It said the spirit came on him. See, go back to 1 Samuel chapter 10. Look what it said. It said the spirit came on him. Then we could turn right back around because we just looked at it on atonement and see in 16 the spirit came off him. Y'all stop. You're so mean. It look like Lizzie be ready to bump too. 1 Samuel 10 and 10. And when they came to the hill, behold, a company of the prophets met him, and the spirit of Elohim came upon him, and he prophesied among them. So don't you think if the spirit of the Most High was on it, and you got to realize there could have been no way that Saul could have sinned. But the spirit had to come on him because of certain things. As it says, the spirit of a Mashiach had to testify in him. So that's why it came on him. But let's look at chapter 16 and let's see if it stayed on him. 16 and 14. Now we already read Saul was disobedient, right? Did he do the will of his father? Let's look what happened because he didn't do it then. Make it 16 and 1 before we read that there. I just want you to hear what he said. It's 1 Samuel 16 and 1. I didn't want you to hear what he said. And Yahuwah said unto Samuel, How long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Yasharal? Fill thy own horn with oil, and go. And I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I provided me a king among his sons. You know what? And we done dealt with this before. Long time ago. He said, well, what you crying for him for since I done rejected him? That's what some of y'all will do. You don't get what you want, or things don't go how you want, and you sitting there crying about it. Ain't no need to cry about it. Y'all done spoke. Might as well get up off your behind, go do what you got to do, because that situation is dead. Now let's look at verse 14 and let's see what happened to him, because you see he been rejected. It says, but the spirit of Yahuwah departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from Yahuwah troubled him. What did it say the spirit just happened with Saul? It left him. How could the spirit leave Saul if it came on him? Because it wasn't continual. And why did the spirit leave Saul, gentlemen? Because he was a sinner. Because of sin. So what does that tell you the spirit of Yah can't do with you? Can't dwell there and when sin is there. See 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and about verse 15. He said we done forgot our resting place. You get your 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1 too. What you eating, Stain? He says, know ye not that your bodies are the members of a Mashiach? Shall I then take the members of a Mashiach and make them the members of a harlot? Elohim forbid. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the master is one spirit. Now we already read in 1 John, he say, he that dwell in him sin not. We know he was manifested to take away sin. The whole purpose of the spirit of Yah coming on Saul was what? To him to lead the people. And to lead them in truth and right. What does the law say the king's supposed to have with it? What does the law say the king's supposed to have, y'all? What did the law say the king's supposed to have? Deuteronomy 17. I don't want those things. 17 and 14. He said, when thou art come into the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim give thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom Yahuwah thy Elohim shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou may not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Mizraim, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as Yahuwah has said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. He just sit back and look at it. He say that king told you can't go back to Egypt or nothing. Can't go back to Mizraim. You know what that's telling you? The king that he set over you, he telling you can't go back to sin. You can't even go that way. But what did Saul turn around and do? He didn't lead them back down into Mizraim, but he led the people right into sin the way they shouldn't have been going. He said, neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. And it shall be when he sit upon the throne of his kingdom, he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests and Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear Yahuwah his Elohim, and to keep all the words of this law and these statutes, and to do them. That his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandment to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Yasharal. You heard what he just said? That he'll keep all the words of this law. So when he told Saul to kill the Amalekites, shouldn't he remember in the law that he said he will wipe out Amalek from under heaven? Ain't that what the law say? So if he would have did what the law told him, he would have had no issue and no problem with eliminating these people completely. But you know what his problem was? He seen something that he wanted. And irregardless of what he had been told to do, he went and did what he wanted to do because he wanted that more than he wanted to obey. That was more important. It looked nice and I wanted it. So he tried to convince himself by doing what he wanted to do, he actually did the will of Yah. That's why he was bold enough to say, I have done the commandment of Yah. When you absolutely did absolutely nothing than what you were told. You went and did exactly what you wanted to do. Some of y'all be doing that. You know exactly what you've been told. You know exactly what you shouldn't do. You go do it anyway, and then come back and act like you done the commandment of Yah. So you mean to tell me we got a whole bunch of King Saul sitting around here? Some extremely smart dummies? You know what I'm saying? It might sound rough, but that's what you're doing, though. That's what you're doing, though. It don't matter if you want to do it. It don't matter what you convince yourself to do it. It doesn't matter what it is. If you've been instructed, don't do this or don't go here, whatever the case may be. I wouldn't care if you were instructed not 2 days ago or 22 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Nothing change. Ain't nothing gonna change from that instruction. You know what I'm saying? Unless you obeyed it and followed it. Because like I say, some things you could have got and it could have just been delayed. The Most High just wanted to see if I withheld that from you, would you stay away from it because I instructed you to do it? You know what I'm saying? I might release it to you, but I just want to see if you're going to listen. But a lot of y'all don't listen though. Or you'll stay away from it just long enough to go right back to it. Because you never had no intentions of doing it anyway. You were just pretending that you wasn't going to mess with it. When the whole time it was burning in your heart to go do it anyway. You was ready to go be contrary. You know what I'm saying? You had to sit back and listen. Think about that. If you can't follow simple instructions, how you going to save your soul? Simple instructions. Simple instructions. If you instructed, you ain't got no business holding hands and you not married and you do it anyway. How you expect to save your soul? You can't follow that simple instruction. How you expect that to happen? Like seriously. See, you know, it's real easy to sit back and say, I ain't gonna eat no honey. You know what I'm talking about? Or I ain't gonna say these words, or I won't eat no pork. You know what I'm saying? Or I ain't gonna do this here. But then the Most High gonna hit you. Let me see what you're doing in this situation then. And some of y'all will hold off, but then you gonna go right back to it. You know what I'm saying? It might be a week. It might be 2 weeks. It ain't gonna be long. You're gonna go right back to doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some stuff just ought not to be done. Some stuff you gotta have certain amount of sense not to do. That's the crime. That's why, I mean, sit back and look at it. That's a shame that I had to tell y'all you shouldn't be camping out with your old lady if all us not together. I shouldn't even have to tell y'all that. What you think? I shouldn't even have to tell y'all that. You should have enough sense to know that you should know that I wouldn't sleep in the same tent with T or go sleep where she's sleeping at. I wouldn't do that. Why would you go do it? You know I wouldn't do it, but you gonna go do it. I wouldn't spend the night at T house. I wouldn't stay at her house till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Shoot, truth be told, I ain't even finna talk on the phone with T till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I ain't saying y'all can't do that. I'm not finna do it though. I'm going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tell you no lie, I'm going to sleep. I love her, I don't love her that much. You know what I'm saying? I used to talk to her till about 1 or 2. I tell her, we can't do this no more. I'm a bodybuilder, man. I ain't getting no gains like this. I got to go to sleep. I ain't getting no gains. I can't get no gains like this. I'll be right back up at about 7, 8 o'clock. I can't get no gains like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm for real. I know that's right. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man. You gotta sit back and look at it. I'm for real, though. I shouldn't even have to tell y'all that. But you know why I had to tell y'all that? Because one of y'all were going to go do it. One of y'all were going to go do it. Shoot, boy, she over here at such and such house. I'm going to go and sleep over there. For what? For what? You know what I'm saying? T say, well, we're going to probably go over there and sleep over there in the tent in Brittany's backyard. It ain't never crossed my mind. Well, I'm going to go over there too. Didn't even cross my mind. What's wrong? She threw up? Oh, Lizzie. Yeah, it didn't even cross my mind to do it. You got to sit back. You got to realize that, man. Y'all put yourself in some bad positions and bad spots. Remember now, you still flesh and blood. You going to play the game if you want, I'm going to tell you. Ain't got no business hanging out with your old lady past 11 o'clock because ain't nothing opening up after 11 o'clock but bras and legs. Nothing. Like, why would you try yourself like that? Why would you play yourself like that? But y'all like to push the envelope because you stupid. You know what I'm saying? Don't push the envelope like that. Don't try yourself like that. Why would you do yourself like that? It don't make sense. Like, I done gave y'all these analogies before I even started talking about this here, this particular matter specifically. Like I just told y'all a couple weeks ago, I wouldn't go in no strip club. I like women. Why would I tempt myself like this? You know what I'm saying? No matter how strong you think you is, boy, y'all will show you not as strong. 1 Corinthians chapter 10. You're not as strong as you think you are. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and about verse 5. You're not as strong as you think you are. It just don't make sense. That's why he say don't tempt Yahuwah. Don't tempt yourself either. She was waiting to do that. He say, but with many of them Elohim was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples to the intent we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Mashiach as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happen unto them for ensamples, and they were written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world come. Wherefore let him think he stand, take heed lest he fall. Y'all better start listening. You thinking you standing? Then why you don't listen before you fall slap dab on your face? He said all this stuff was written for your warning and your correction and your admonition. He said if you think you standing, why you won't listen lest you fall? Lest you fall.
Yes, they are.
Cut that off. Leah, cut it off. Y'all don't even sit there and think about that type of stuff, do you? Y'all don't think about that type of stuff. You gonna fall, and he gonna show you. Because when he give you that chance to get out of that temptation, you gonna do it anyway, because you gonna be just like that one that said, I'm gonna go do it, but didn't go. Because what I wanted to do was more important than what I was told to do. And the difference is I'm gonna lie and say I'm gonna do it. Get your Titus 1:16. We still holding Daniel chapter 8. We through with Jeremiah 50, but we'll finish out what it talking about. Y'all permit. I didn't want y'all to understand that and know that, man. Like I say, man. Titus 1 about verse 14. You know, Brother Golden just got put in the ground today. A lot of y'all was scared when you found out he was dead, and like, oh man, we need to get our souls together and the mind right. And that lasted 48 hours for some of y'all. Some of y'all maybe 3-4 days. And then it was right back to business as usual. Right back to business as usual. You know what I'm saying? Long before Golden started calling and riding with us, and y'all even allowed him to come down here to be here with us in the flesh. I have been telling y'all, maybe that's what it'll take for some of y'all to get your mind right, that he put one of y'all out, somebody get kicked out. But instead, he let a man come around here who had a debilitating illness for almost a decade that none of y'all knew he had. That according to his doctors, he should have been dead long ago. Because his original prognosis that he should have only lived a few months. And y'all allowed him to live 7 more years. And he allowed that man to come around here. That man had been on my page for at least 3 years. At least 3 years. And he didn't start rolling with us till probably the end of so-called 2014. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe even November 2014. And he allowed y'all to know this man and hit this man and get to know this man and meet this man and all that. Whole time, this man had a disease that was destroying his body, and he was on the brink of death pretty much every day. And that's what he told me out of his own mouth. He told me that himself. And that, no, he was sitting right there. And when he told it to me, I didn't even know it was nothing wrong with him. He wouldn't have said it, I wouldn't even known it. You know what I'm saying? And he allowed y'all to see that man, for that's the way that he was going to get your attention. Like I said, that man's supposed to, according to his doctor, that man supposed to have been dead in 2007, 2008. He supposed to have been dead. But y'all let him live 7 more years. And he allowed y'all to meet him, and he allowed y'all to be around him, for y'all to sit back and see, now he gone. And that could be any one of you at any given time. Ain't now one of y'all promised to wake up and see that sunshine in the morning. That's myself included. Ain't now one of us promised that. Not nobody on this phone, in this room, none of us promised that. Nobody on this earth has promised that. You are not promised to make it through the completion of the next day. You are not promised that. Now you say you're fighting for your soul and saving your souls, what you want to do. And you know, I want to do this here. But I'm be honest with you, man. Most of y'all are full of crap. You full of hot air. You just running your mouth. You just talking. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't going to really do what you got to do to get that done. You want to convince yourself that's what you want to do, but your actions do not resemble that. That's why you sat back when you seen the man die. That's why some of y'all were so terrified and scared, because you know you going to hell too. You know you ain't got the man's spirit. You know it. But instead of sitting back looking at, boy, I got a chance to get it right while I'm alive. You don't think that way. See, the only time when somebody died, that's the only thing get your mind is you so nervous. But and you ain't sitting back looking at, it's a reality check. It's just like a big cup of coffee. You got to ask yourself, who is going to do the will of his father in the Shamahim? Who is going to do what they told to do? You shouldn't have to be told to do something but one time. One time. You shouldn't have to be told to do something 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Or come up with reasons in your mind why you should be able to do this or do that. You know how dangerous and wicked of a mind that is if you told not to do something and you coming up with ways in your mind to get around that? You know how dangerous a mind that is? That don't even scare some of y'all. That y'all might let you keep that mind. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, this is the most important endeavor that we will ever embark on in our entire lives. I don't think some of y'all take it as seriously as you should. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's some, I ain't calling no name, it's some of y'all who I know you do take it serious. It reflects in the things that you do and in your speech and all of that. I'm talking about as far as you when you relay it to me. Because I can tell when somebody telling me that stuff and I'll be honest with you, I might not tell you right then or tell nobody else. I tell you my mind, I'll be like, I don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? I really don't believe you. You're going to have to show me a little more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not convinced. Man, I told y'all something, man. I'm going to tell y'all something before we get back to looking at going into this here. Just as an example of what I'm telling y'all something. Well, this man had me deal with a woman that I did not want to deal with in any shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm saying? Personally. You know what I'm saying? She was cool. You know, I had love for her because I knew her. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to mess with her like that. You know what I'm saying? And when he set me in that direction, I'm like, man, I don't really care to do this. But if this is what you want me to do, then I will do this. I don't particularly care to do this. Only thing came in my mind was, just go ahead and do what I told you to do. I went and did that. And what he wanted me to do was, it helped me out as far as my understanding what this word and preaching this word. I definitely did that there. So I thank y'all for that there, because it definitely allowed my understanding and my skill level to increase greatly because of what he had me do towards this woman as it pertained to disseminating his word. You know what I'm saying? I looked this woman in her face and told her numerous times, I don't like you as a person. You disgust me. Everything you stand for, everything that you do, everything that you value is disgusting and despicable to me. You know what I'm saying? I find it highly offensive. I do not stamp nor condone nothing that you do. You know what I'm saying? That nigga looked me in the face and told me it was a lot of stuff she was going to do, and she didn't go do none of it. You know what I'm saying? And didn't do none of it. It was plenty of time I done sat around and be like, man, I ain't sending her nothing. He'd be like, send her that. I'm like, man, I don't want to send it to her. Send it to her anyway. It's only one person on this phone that can testify to the extensive text messages that they used to I say too, because I know Tamara probably seen it too. You know what I'm saying? That they could testify to that. That was because of what he had me to do with this woman. I never had intents on sharing it with other people until Lil Muffin said, where ours at? Because it never crossed my mind to share it with anybody else, because I was directed to share it with this individual. That information ended up blessing others because of what he wanted me to do with a stubborn, hard-headed nigga. Who, when the opportunity to save their soul, which they professed and claimed that they wanted to do so badly, and the knowledge and information that they claimed that they wanted to know so badly, when Yah gave them the opportunity and laid it at their feet, they rejected it, because in actuality, that is not what they really wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I can hear this woman's voice right now. I really want this knowledge. No, you don't. And y'all knew you didn't want it either. I can remember sitting in this woman's living room and looking her in her face and telling her, I'm scared for you. And she said, why? I say, because sometimes I wonder, did y'all send me around here for you to hear this word so you could be damned to go to hell? You know what I'm saying? And she looked at me crazy, but I was dead serious though. I'm scared for you. Really scared for you. Because you say this is what you wanted, and he gave it to you, and he know you didn't want it. He know you didn't want it. You know what I'm saying? Now by this time, I'm gonna tell you something, man. This real talk. I've been with T, man, almost 2 years now. I ain't sat down and disseminated no word to her nowhere, anywhere close than what I did for that woman right there. I have not disseminated word one-on-one to any human being on this earth in the fashion that I did for that individual. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of things that I done preached and taught to other people that came because of my conversations and dealings with her. There are sermons that have came because this woman had did something that enraged me greatly, and sermons came to me right there on the spot, and I wasn't even really preaching like that yet. Which those sermons ended up being text messages to other people. I wasn't even preaching like that. I wasn't preaching on no Shabbat. It wasn't no YouTube video. I wasn't doing none of that at this time. This is 2011, 2012, even late 2013. I wasn't doing none of that. None of that. You know what I'm saying? I did that because he wanted me to do it. Not because I wanted to do it. Because if it was up to me, it would have never got done. And that's real. If it was up to me, it would have never got done. But what I wanted to do didn't matter. I mean, the woman was a whore. I didn't want to be with no whore. But if that's what he wanted, I would have done it. If this man tell me to walk butt naked, this woman used to ask me stuff, how do you know? I say, man, I don't ask no questions. The man tell me to do it, I'm going to do it. I don't ask no questions. You know what I'm saying? Good soldiers don't ask no questions. As it becomes when you serve. You didn't see Abraham asking no questions. Why this or why that did. You didn't see Joseph or Jacob. You didn't see Elijah or David asking no questions when they were directed to go do something. But you know why they didn't ask no questions? They trusted y'all. You know what I'm saying? I trust your will. I trust that whatever it is, it's going to work out to my good no matter what. You know what I'm saying? They trusted that. You know, a lot of y'all don't trust that. That's why when you told something, you so eager to go do what you want to do because you actually don't trust y'all like that. See, Hamashiach trusted y'all to the point, I need you to go die, son. I got you. I need you to be impaled on a tree. I got you. I need you to be spit on and slapped. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I need you to be disrespected by the very people I send you to. I need the very people who should be honoring you and respecting you and listening to what you say. I need for them to call you a devil and a blasphemer. I need to them want to kill you. And bear all manner of false witness on you. And he said he didn't even sit back and say, man, I don't know about that there. He said, all right, I got it. I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? When he told Jeremiah, walk butt naked. You know what I'm saying? He asked no questions why you want me to walk butt naked. He just went and did that. You know what I'm saying? The only time you get your Ezekiel chapter 5. Let me read it, Titus 1 and 14. The only time you read about somebody saying something, get your Ezekiel chapter 5. Only time you read about somebody saying something when it was something they knew that was against the law. Then they were like, oh boy, I can't do that. Because that's going to cause me to sin. You know what I'm saying? That's going to cause me to sin. I ain't going to do that. Now, I'm going to tell you something, man. That woman I just was talking to y'all about, man, that woman thought that I didn't even want her because I wasn't trying to have sex with her. Because I was dealing with her in a Kodesh fashion. You know what I'm saying? She be want me to stay to her house, 2, 3 of them. I'm not staying over here like that. Oh, come over here like this here. Your kids ain't there. Man, I'm not coming to your house. Your kids ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you. I know what your objective is. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I done been in there. This woman been doing my hair, trying to brush her hips up against me and rub her titties on my back and all that type of stuff. I know what you're trying to do. I'm for real though. I'm dead serious. No joking, no nothing. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? My little sister know because she seen me deal with this woman, man. I gave that woman entirely too much love, care, and attention that she did not deserve. Would you agree with that? The mother says 2 thumbs up and a half a finger. I mean, she know that though. I'm telling you, that woman didn't deserve that attention that she got. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody know me and my sister know me, I wasn't doing that because that's just what I wanted to do. Because she done been around me many days where she know that woman had me hot and I ain't want to mess with her. But y'all say keep on going. So we just keep on hitting her with it. And keep on hitting them with it. And keep on hitting them with it. And by the time I got finished dealing with that woman, and little mother tell you, I explained it to her many times, I say, man, she was Israel. Everything of her mind frame and your attitude, would you say that would be correct? Every way how she operated, she operates just like how we as a people operate. I seen that. I understood that. I learned that from dealing with. See, it was bigger than me than just, you know what I'm saying? It was bigger than that to me. I'll end it with this here before I read this Title 1 and 14. I remember one day I was at her house, sitting at her dining room table. And I looked in her face, and we were reading Leviticus 21. And I told her, I said, a priest can't marry no whore. When I told her this, her response to me was, well, what you trying to be? Because she knows she was a whore. Or is a whore, is the proper, because that is in the present tense, because she's not dead. You know what I'm saying? She is a whore. Her response to that to me was because she thought I was referring to me and her. You know what I'm saying? When I was actually referring to us and a Mashiach. She didn't know that till I showed it to her. You know what I'm saying? And y'all don't understand that was 2011. I had only been dealing with the word 2 years, and by the grace of Mashiach, I knew that. To be honest with you, there is no way that I should have known that. I should not just know it, but be able to show it. I shouldn't have known that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have got that understanding and to be able to learn that and be taught that by y'all unless I had dealt with that woman. I honestly believe, that's my personal opinion. I'm not speaking for y'all. I'm speaking for myself. I do not believe that I probably would have learned that without dealing with that woman. I'm just being honest. I don't believe I would have learned that. You know what I'm saying? Because I learned it firsthand. You know what I'm saying? Firsthand. Because he gave me the ability to be able to go in the word and show her that, and then turn around and show how Yasharal had to be reborn and transformed, that she was going to have to be acceptable. That was the point of why he put that word in my mouth. But the whole time she thought I was talking about me and her. I wasn't talking about me and you, because we know you're a whore. That's undisputable. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody knows this. I'm saying, I'm just being honest. Everybody knows it. When a woman look you in your face and tells you, why would you want me? I'm all used up. I'm a whore. You know what I'm saying? This woman looked me in my face and told me that. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to be honest with you. That was saddening to me. Because the only thing I could think about was our people and not really her. I ain't trying to be mean or hard about it. But I thought about us as a people. Why would y'all want us? We're such a disgusting, vile people. You know what I'm saying? All used up, done laid with every false god that passed by. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I actually could begin to understand the love of y'all. No matter how vile and disgusting we were, he still loved us and came up with a plan to take us back. You know what I'm saying? So that's what allowed me to continue to deal with that woman, because I was understanding the love that he had for us as a people. You know what I'm talking about? If y'all do not understand the love that he had for you as an individual, because you of all the seed of Yasharal or Abraham, you know what I'm talking about? Then you're not going to understand the fact that you're going to do what this man tell you to do. And you ain't going to ask no questions. And you're not going to seek your will. And you're not going to seek what you want. And you're not going to buck him. And you're not going to disrespect his servant. And you're not going to run your mouth. And you're going to do exactly what you're supposed to do. You would do that. But when you don't understand that love and you don't really care about it and it don't really resonate in your heart to the point where it changes your thoughts and it changes your heart and it changes your actions and it changes your speech and it changes the way that you think and the way that you react and the way that you do things, you're going to go to hell because you're going to keep doing what you always been doing. You know what I'm saying? We could go through a little book, but every now and then we can do a little preaching. You know what I'm saying? And I really want y'all to really understand that and wrap that around your brain. Because our brother just got put back in the dust today. Well, yesterday. You know what I'm saying? You knew he was gone, but it's real now. It's a pile of dirt over his body, and he's in a casket right now. And it's over for him. He's asleep. You know what I'm saying? He is asleep, waiting on resurrection and judgment. That's what's going down. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going down. Now you gotta ask yourself, if you were to go to sleep right now, where's your soul gonna rest when you wake up? Because just like we read in that Jeremiah 50, you have forgotten your resting place. You have forgotten it. You have forgotten it. You forgot where you live at. You forgot where you lay down at. Just like y'all forgot where y'all lay down at. Now, you see what they did. Titus 1:14. Not giving heed to Yahudim fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. But even their mind and conscience is defiled. They profess that they know Elohim, but in works they deny him, being an abominable and disobedient, and unto every good work reprobate. So anything you could do that's good is worthless in the eyesight of the Most High if you don't do what he tell you to do. That'd be our major, biggest hindrance and problem. We just don't want to do what we told to do. Because that's not important to us. What I just said I wanted before I did the Titus 1:14, it slipped my mind. Nevertheless, Timothy, I don't think it was Timothy. No, it wasn't Timothy. But we can go on around that to 2 Timothy. I'm still gonna use it. In verse 22, though. Something we done spoke about before, but I'm gonna tell it to you again. I ain't gonna try to take up too much of y'all time this evening, because we already went again Wednesday night, and we went Tuesday night, and we going again in the afternoon, and y'all will, I got you Sunday night, and I got you for 7 days after that. It says, flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord on the Master out of a pure heart. So I'm gonna tell you something. Again, dealing with that youthful lust, you know, that take us all the way back to who? Eve, right? You know what I'm saying? And what was her youthful lust? Genesis chapter 3. That's what some of y'all be doing, going on. It looked good to me. You stupid idiot. Some of y'all been told your whole life everything that look good ain't good. But y'all don't be caring because it's about what you want more than anything. That's why y'all keep bumping your head and keep falling, and stuff don't progress and don't go the way you want because you're going by how it look. You know what I'm saying? Get your John chapter 7 verse 21 while we at it. I know I'm holding Daniel chapter 8 too, right? Jeremiah chapter 50. We're holding anything else. I know my mind get bad sometimes. Genesis 3 and 6. 3 and 5. See, this is the type of stuff coming y'all head, or when somebody be in your ear. Man, you ain't got to listen to the Wayne what he talking about, because see, he know when you do this here, this what's going to happen. Yeah, that's just what happened. He say, for Elohim doth know in the day that you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband. Gave unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So she said, you know, it looked good for food. You know what I'm saying? It's pleasant to my eyes. It'll make me wise. Get you 1 Corinthians 1 and 22. See, this is what happened when you go around here thinking like that. 1 Corinthians 1, and I'm going to say about 18. Make it 17. That's what y'all don't sit back and look at. That's how the enemy come at you. It'll make you wise. You know what I'm saying? He'll come at you just like this here. Man, you ain't got to listen to that dude, man. You know what I'm saying? He ain't God or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely ain't. You know what I'm talking about? You can do exactly what you want to do. When you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to just show you what the words say. Or I'm going to give you wise counsel to tell you, I wouldn't do that if I were you. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go in that direction. Some of y'all know directly, I done told y'all explicitly on certain situations, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You niggas will say stuff out your mouth about certain situations and 2-3 days later forget what you just said out your mouth. Come and tell you something. In Romans chapter 10, Paul say the mouth confess under salvation. The heart believeth under salvation. If you say something out your mouth, 9 times out of 10 is because you believe it in your heart. You know what I'm saying? And if you believe that in your heart enough for you to say it out your mouth, how you go back on what you just said and what you believe? Don't y'all realize when I talk to y'all about stuff, Lil Muffin know, 'cause this is how I do it. I don't never do anything. I cause you to ask questions and call for you to come up to the conclusion on your own, don't I want you to move. I want you to say it out your mouth yourself. I want you to hear you say it. You know what I'm talking about? So when you hear yourself say it, it'll sink in and be more realistic to you because it came out your mouth and not mine. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all I done did that for, and you'll go right back and do the opposite. You stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's stupid. Because you know this is the truth, but you don't want to accept it because you want what you want. You know what I'm saying? Eve knew that she is not supposed to do this. But when it came and it sounded real good, what did she do? She said, we can't eat that. If we do, we gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So you already done said this out your mouth because you believe it. But all it takes is somebody to come in there and put a little thought in your mind. You know what I'm saying? It can even come from your own mind. It don't got to be no outside person. You know what I'm saying? For you to go against what you already know is true. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never said out my mouth, I don't want to mess with T no more. Because if I say that, then I already know it's over with. You know what I'm saying? And then if I already know it's over with, it's time to go ahead and cut that show. Ain't no sense of trying to drag it on and hope it's going to work out later. It's over. You know what I'm saying? Because it's already done entered into my mind. If I said it out loud, you know what I'm saying? If I sit back and say, I'm not playing basketball anymore because it just hurts my knees entirely too much. You know what I'm saying? I already know that this activity is not good for me. If I continue to participate in this activity, it's because I am stupid. You know what I'm saying? Because I already have concluded in my mind that this is not the way to go. You know what I'm saying? Just like I was explaining to y'all, I knew I didn't want to be with that woman. The whoredom notwithstanding. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say we just put the fact that she's a whore to the side. You don't really want to do this. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want to do this. I've already said out my mouth, I don't like you. If it was up to me, I wouldn't talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm looking for is the opportunity to flee. You know what I'm talking about? That's all I'm looking for. Because once you say something out of your mouth, man, that's pretty much what's in your heart. You believe that and you know it to be true. And you know it to be true. And nothing you can do to convince yourself or do otherwise is going to change it. He said, the mouth confesseth unto salvation. The heart believeth unto salvation. We'll read that too in a minute. But let me read that 1 Corinthians 1 and 6, 17. For Hamashiach sent me not to baptize, but to preach the good news. Not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Hamashiach should be made of none effect. See, that's what it sit back and look at. When he was telling them in that garden, you can have any fruit tree you want but that one. He was telling them to suffer right then. He was telling them to fast and afflict yourself. Do not fool with that. Deny yourself of that. Don't mess with that. Because this what's going to happen when you do that. And the same thing y'all be doing. I tell y'all, don't mess with that. Don't do that. Don't go that way. And what do? You eat it anyway. Because you want to die. That's why he say flee youthful lust. Because all you got to do is go back to the beginning and look at that youthful lust. It looked good for food. It's desirable to make one wise. He said, I'll be like God. I think I want to try that out. Even though you already uttered out of your mouth, Elohim said, if we eat of this tree, we will surely die. So you already know, and you go do what you want to do anyway. Who did the will of their father? That's what it comes down to. who did the will of their Father. You know, when I was talking to y'all the other day, like this here, and really, you know, because, you know, we love our brother Troy, Stanley, Will, and Corey. When I was telling y'all this on Wednesday, I wasn't trying to be nasty or funny. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. When I first started dealing with this word, boy, I wasn't preaching nobody. You know what I'm saying? I would sit down and I would build with you and we could talk and we could conversate. But I wasn't trying to teach nobody. You know what I'm saying? Didn't even hit my mind. Now, of course, I was a little older than y'all. You know, I was 29. I was 28. About to turn 29 when the word came to me. You know what I'm saying? So I had a little bit more life experience and maturity to know when to pump the brakes. See, I know y'all were young. Y'all young. I mean, shoot, ain't none of y'all over 24. You know what I'm saying? And I know that youthful vigor and desire to go do something. Because I done been there. You know what I'm saying? So I know where y'all coming from on certain things. I done been there. You know what I'm talking about? But the thing that I noticed as I went on and as time went on, that the thing that would benefit and profit people, what they needed to know that their life had to be in line with this completely. I can remember being in my breezeway, man, it'd be me, Fat Boy, our homeboy Big D, Booby, my homeboy Smiley, you know what I'm saying? Our homeboy Said, and the only thing I can remember telling them, like, boy, I gotta get this man's spirit, man. And I remember Fat Boy be like, boy, that's all you talk about. You know what I'm saying? But that's what my mind was at the time. I didn't start doing it till he told me to go do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like this here, like, the only time we would do something, I told y'all before, man, in 2011, it started, like I said, the only thing I was doing, I was sending stuff to that woman. Like, detailed information. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, I had a cheap cell phone, too. And at first, I was sending just the verses and, like, read these. And then he was like, text them out. And Pell can bear witness right now. But as time went on, when I started sending them to them, I ain't started sending them to them till 2012. And about maybe spring, so-called spring 2012. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like March, April 2012. Maybe February. I had been sending that girl stuff since June, July 2011. You know what I'm saying? The first time I got a lesson was something called the Word. We went over it during Unleavened Bread. You know what I'm saying? But Little Muffin tell you, I ain't never teach y'all nothing, did I? I talked to you about stuff. Only time I started really, we would do something was on the feast days, and that was just to do it because we were there. You know what I'm saying? And on the feast days, it wasn't nothing but a handful of us. I bought all the food, cooked all the food, served everybody, and then taught the Word. I did all of that. Like straight up and down, I did all of that. I ain't asked them for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just come over here. You ain't got to pay for nothing. You ain't got to do nothing. All you got to do is just show up. And even then, in 2011, I was showing them the whole book was about Mashiach. Not as detailed as it is now. You know what I'm saying? But I was doing it, though. You know what I'm saying? And Pell can tell you. I can remember some of the names of them text messages now. You know, Fountain of Living Waters. You go on Jesus for True Freedom. That Overcome the World was a text message. That Holy Spirit video was a text message. That Be Not Deceived was a text message. That Perfection was a text message. You know what I'm saying? That was them text messages that I was sending to that woman and then to them. She got everything first and then other people got it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't start teaching on a regular basis till we moved in that townhouse. And I wouldn't even did that if Nell wouldn't have said nothing. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. I wouldn't even did that. Because me and Nell stayed in that apartment on Barnes Road. I did not have people over there and I'm preaching every day. I did not do that. Even that video on Jesus for True Freedom, the harvest and the sickle, that was the first time I ever dropped something and I didn't write it down. You know what I'm saying? That was the first time I ever did that. That was the first time he ever showed me that you could preach a word without writing it down. Because she asked me something about a dream she had, and I just went to running it down, and it went to comment, and she just happened to write it down. You know what I'm saying? And when we moved in the townhouse, I said, you still got that written down? And then we went over it again. And I still added stuff that was different than what it was when I gave it to her originally. We were sitting in the living room when that happened. I can remember it right now. Because she was reading. Look, because we were just sitting in the house. Like, that was nothing that was on my mind, man. That's real talk. If Nell, it was Tabernacle 2012, and Nell wouldn't have been like, you going to do the video. Because I came downstairs with a tank top on. You know what I'm saying? She's like, you going to drop the letter? I'm going to cut the camera on. I'm going to record. I said, man, I got to go back upstairs and put a shirt on. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. And then after that, it was every week. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come up with this Ustream channel. He did. I didn't tell him to do that. I came in the house one day. He'd be like, he go to Ustream, man. I wouldn't think about that. That wasn't on my mind. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I know I'm talking to y'all a little bit. It'll be all right. We'll get this stuff in a minute. And if not, we got plenty of them. We got 8 days. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Tabernacle 2012, it wasn't nobody but me, Muffin, and Nell. You know what I'm saying? Then Tabernacle 2013, it was me, Muffin, and Dwight. And I think Barry came through for a day or two, and Leanna. You know what I'm saying? Tabernacle 2014, okay, now you add Brittany, T, and my mama. You know what I'm saying? Now we look at this year, and it's like this here, like, you know, I ain't never really sit back and think about, okay, we need to do this or get a building, because it wasn't tangible. Now that I'm starting to get the training thing going and try to do all this here, now it's becoming tangible. It's going to have to be done because it's more people. We didn't need to get no hotel room for no feast days before. You know what I'm saying? We didn't need to do that because it wasn't that many people to do it. That year for Tabernacle 2014, we ate bonos for a couple days. Catered that because it wasn't that need for that much food because it wasn't that many of us. You know what I'm saying? It's more people. But you know the reason I'm sitting back looking at? Because I'm not consciously thinking about we going to get more people. You know what I'm saying? I ain't thinking about that. I'm thinking about, boom, I'm going to just deal with who's here. If it wasn't nobody but just me and Lil Muffin, that's who it would have been. And it wouldn't be no Ustream or nothing. You know what I'm talking about? None of that. I wouldn't be doing none of that. I ain't doing this because this is just what I wanted to just jump up and go do. I could have been quite content being a regular dude. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Quite content with that. I have no problem with that. I would have had no problem being the dude sitting in the back, sitting in the middle, sitting in the front. You know what I'm talking about? Whatever that man tell me to do, that's what I'm going to go do. Go home and do it. You know what I'm talking about? And that's it. I have no problem with that. Because the part of actually watching over people, let's sit here and tell you the same time dealing with this here. I'm actually dealing with something. This, look here, I'm trying to start a personal training business, sell clothes, and this congregation. All three of these is a business. And guess what? I'm starting from nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Ground floor, ground zero, and I got to build them up. You know what I'm saying? And that take time. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit back and look at y'all. Y'all got to help me build the business. That's not y'all job to do that. You know what I'm saying? If you choose to help and invest, that's your prerogative. But at the end of the day, that's not y'all job to do that. I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? When the people come, who they coming for? They ain't coming for y'all. They gonna come for me. You know what I'm talking about? But you got to be willing to take that. When you're dealing with a lot of these Israelites, they don't really let you how serious this is. You know what I'm saying? This is a business. Not a business of how you thinking, but this is a business, something you building and you growing. When it's not something, when you look at Moses, Moses wasn't looking to do what he ended up doing. You know what I'm saying? And he tried to get out of doing what he ended up doing. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem doing it. I will gladly do it, but I don't think I'm the best man for the job. And then when y'all go to talking to him, you know what Moses go to thinking? Well, why not me? You know what I'm talking about? Then you know what you end up doing as you go along walking with y'all, and he start giving you stuff, you go to thinking, well, why I can't do it? You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna sit here and tell y'all that I ain't never think and tell the Most High, man, I can't do this, man. You gotta find somebody else for this. I done told you that. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I can't do that. I don't think I'm cut out for this. I don't think I'm the person for it. But then he start giving you more information, or you start maturing, and then you go to thinking, you know what? Why not me then? Just I would tell him, Pale, man, the brother we used to sit with, just like this here. We didn't never have to go to that library and sit up there with that man. I know y'all despise that. And I know I was quite capable at the time of giving you information that was way better than what he would give. And y'all knew it because you sat back and look at why we got to go, why we just can't stay here. You know what I'm talking about? And I knew that, but that wasn't even the point because it wasn't time. It wasn't time. Plus, y'all knew y'all could pop up any day of the week. You know what I'm talking about? And catch me before I go to work. You know what I'm saying? And get what you want. Because you know I was going to be there. So it didn't matter. That just one day out of the week, we were just gathering with somebody. But you knew 7 days a week, I was there at your disposal. You know, all you had to do was just pull up. I mean, Nell, all she knew how to do was just get up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it wasn't no big deal to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm right here, but at the same time, it wasn't time. Even when it was time, we didn't even realize it was time. You know what I'm saying? Even when she left and we were separated, I'm like, I ain't doing it no more. You know what I'm talking about? Till he like this here. Boom, he pop up to the house with Veen. I'm like, well, shoot. And then the same conversation that I'm having with them, I'm walking the door, you watching the stream. He said the same exact things I was just saying to them in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? And that's got me tripping. I ain't tell you that. You know what I'm saying? But that had me tripping. I just told this man this word for word about 15 minutes ago. Before we got in the car and drove over there to y'all house, I just told this man the same thing that this man is saying as we walking in the door 15 minutes ago. And you know what go to clicking in your mind, my mind? Well, maybe why you can't do it. Because obviously there's no way in the world that this was recorded for you to sit back and watch that and repeat that because you just said it. And now you walking in here and he's saying it. And I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at obviously because just like I say, you were in the gym shooting with me. You know what I'm saying? You were in the gym. You know where it started from to where it's at now. It's a lot different. It's a lot different. Man, I ain't never told nobody nothing in their life not to do something because I just didn't want them to do it. If I just didn't want you to do it, I just outright say, I don't want you to do that. You know what I'm saying? I tell y'all not to do stuff is because of your own benefit, because I can see things that you can't see. Before I finish this 1 Corinthians chapter 1, I was telling T, right, like when she first got her spot and her people want to do stuff for her, I told her don't take nothing from them, period, at all. The reason being, I didn't tell her what my main motivation was for telling her that, because your people expect you to fail. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never been on your own, this, that, that, and the other. They expect you to fail. You got to show them that you can hold this down on your own. That once you show them that you can hold this down on your own and you didn't need their help, and they see that, they will have no choice but to respect you. You know what I'm saying? That if you did get in a bind and you really needed their help and you asked for it, it wouldn't be like, I knew she couldn't do it, because they would actually know she really needs my help. Because she done showed me she can hold this down. You know what I'm saying? And also for that strength and fortitude for herself, that she could know that she could do it. Because I believe that she could do it, but she had to do it herself so she could know she could do it. You know what I'm saying? Because once you've been undone something and you seen that you can do it, then you know ain't nothing restrained from you when you do something that you've never done before, that you might have thought you couldn't have handled or couldn't have done, and you mess around and you do it. Can't nothing be restrained from you. You know what I'm saying? Can't nothing, because you already know, boy, I ain't think I could do that there, boy. But I held that down. You know what I'm saying? But you did that. That's why I was real adamant on I just wouldn't tell her that. Because if I told her that, that'd defeat the purpose of why I'm telling you not to do this. Because then that'd be in your mind. I didn't want that to be in her mind. I wanted her to know not to do this, because I wanted them to respect her gangster on that. Because sometimes you got to, especially with your family, you got to show them to make them respect you. You know what I'm saying? You got to show them. You got to make people respect you, and you make people respect you by what you do. You know what I'm saying? They can't come and say T don't do this or T don't do that, or she can't hold her stuff down, or she can't manage her money, or they can't say that. Oh, she had to come to me to get money for the rent. They can't say that. You know what I'm saying? Because they know she doing it. He's like, boy, she ain't never called and asked us for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Boy, coming up, boy, I ain't never called and asked a nigga for nothing. I ain't had nobody to add no way. You know what I'm talking about? So it's either, boy, you're going to have to get it and hold it down, or you're going to starve. You know what I'm saying? I know, boy. Look here, man. I paid my mama rent for about 2 years straight. You know what I'm talking about? Never late. I'm talking about rent, light, bill, all that. Never late. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in that type of stuff, man. If I got the money for something, I'm going to pay him now. You know what I'm talking about? I don't like for stuff to come up out the blue, catch me off guard. Now, it's different if something come up unexpected. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, I ain't got it, Cracky. You get it when I got it. Right now, I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? When I get it, you'll get it now. Cause I'm going to pay my bills. You know, I clown about that, you know what I'm saying, just messing with teeth, but I'm telling you, I pay my bills now. I don't like owing nobody no money. I don't want nobody in my I don't want to be in nobody hand in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a nigga come talking about you owe me. You know what I'm saying? This I'm gonna give you what, you know what I'm saying? Boom, I'm gonna give you that. I ain't never been a nigga shame like this here. I know sometimes people do stuff for you, you ain't gotta give nothing. At the same time, I ain't got no problem saying I'll pay you for it. Ain't got no problem with that. None whatsoever. That don't bother me. You know what I'm talking about? Because, hey, people got stuff, they like to be compensated. It ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just like this here, you just got to be willing. Sometimes, even if you know a nigga don't want nothing, sometimes it's just good to give him something. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, here you go, man. Just let him know, man, I appreciate you now. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know I ain't using you. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind. Just cause we could be in this thing together, man, and we family and all that. At the same time, man, ain't nothing wrong with it. Here you go. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Doing something that a nigga ain't gotta ask you to do it. You just go on and do it. You know what I'm talking about? Let it be a man. I ain't trying to get over on you. Cause I know a lot of y'all been dealing with people all your life. That's all they was seeking to do to get over on you. You know what I'm saying? That ain't good. I give a nigga anything I got if I got it. You know what I'm saying? Any of y'all pretty much know if you ask me to do something. Some of y'all I done watch pretty much all you niggas churn. Like straight up and down. It ain't a handful of y'all who sit back that actually live in this. I done watch everybody live in this city who with us. I done watch they churn. You know what I'm saying? Ain't pretty much ask you for nothing. Unless it was over an 8-hour shift, then you gonna have to pay. If I gotta watch them over 8 hours. 8 hours about between 5 and 8. Well, I need some compensation. Especially if I got to change diapers. Woo, what to do? Woo. Like this here, man. Hey, I ain't tell y'all something, man. I used to watch Leah. I was compensated for it too, wasn't it? And I ain't watched Leah for no couple hours. I'm talking about I watched Leah from 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, till sometimes 5 o'clock in the evening. I didn't tax Lil Muffin for it. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, I was compensated for it. But I watched it. And then I done watched Lizzie. I ain't watched Iggy yet, though. Not for an extended period of time. I done watched the twins. I done watched Kingston. I done watched Lil Mike. I ain't got no problem with it. If I'm available, just don't try to take advantage of me. I watch the kids, though. If I'm free and you got something you in the bind, you can bring that nigga around there. Just make sure that nigga toilet trained now, though, because they getting older. I'm telling you, no more diapers. No more diapers. Because I ain't changed the Iggy diaper. Just letting you know that. Because he looked like he dropped some. I don't believe you. 1 Corinthians, I just don't believe that. 1 Corinthians 18. Cause I know Lizzie dropped them. Yeah, she got me one day when y'all went on your little dinner date on Thanksgiving, whatever day that was. I still have nightmares about that. He say, for the preaching of the cross is to them that perish, foolishness. But unto us which are saved is the power of Elohim. That's why it seemed foolishness to Eve. It didn't seem like that was wisdom when that came. You know what I'm saying? He says, for it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Have not Elohim made foolish the wisdom of this world? See, that's the whole thing Eve missed. He said, look like it'll make me wise. It look good for food. I think I'm going to try that out. Let me get this Daniel chapter 8 out of the way. Finish this Jeremiah 50. And I'll get work this 1 King 19 in here somehow, somewhere. Y'all all right? Y'all extra quiet. Huh? Hey, Brother Tony, man, I seen that dude had you mad, man. Man, don't let him get you like that. I was tripping because I knew you were mad for real, too. I knew if he would have been standing in your face, Tony, you might have hit him in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? I told her, Tony, I know. Yeah, trust me, I know. See, I told Dwight, I say, boy, I say Tony got that Aboriginal Australian in it. I say he got some black in it. You can't call no black man no snitch. Don't expect to get hit in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? I know where you were coming from because I know what that means. Somebody call you an agent. They calling you a snitch. You know what I'm saying? We know you though. Yeah. Yeah. No, trust me, I know, Tony. One thing about it is because I seen Chantel came on and say he ain't no agent. I mean, we know because we've ate with you. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, me and Link hung out with you. You know what I'm saying? I was with you before you jumped on your flight to go back to Columbia. I know you a lot of things, but a federal agent ain't one of them. You know what I'm saying? This we know. You know what I'm saying? Because we've actually been in the flesh with you. You know what I'm saying? So I know why you was upset because I know what that means for somebody to call somebody. You saying I'm a snitch. You know what I'm saying? And those are fighting words. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. You know, that's why I had told you, just let it go and leave it alone. You know what time it is. You knew who the person in the video was, who he was sharing you in the background of the individual and why you didn't take it with a grain of salt. Just like I said, I've never flown from the Eastern Hemisphere to the Western Hemisphere. You have. I had to take your word for it. You know what I'm saying? You have that experience. I don't. I can't tell you what you experienced on that airplane when you did that. And you've done it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going to be arguing with you, I show my level of stupidity. You know what I'm saying? But I understood what I just found it funny because I told Dwight, I say, if he would have been standing in your face and said that, I honestly believe you would have knocked a couple of teeth out of him. You know what I'm saying? I honestly believe that. I would die and laugh because I'm like, I can see Tony hitting him right now. You know what I'm saying? I would say, boy, we have to grab him. We can't lose your salvation behind this here. Don't hit him in the mouth, Tony. Don't do it. Don't do it. Well, but thank y'all. They like this here. People crazy, man. Then we have verse 23, people crazy. They like this here. It don't make no difference to us because we know what time it is. We know you ain't no agent. So that's why we ain't even studied. But we appreciate Chantel came through in the clutch. She gonna let it be known. You ain't gonna talk about my people like that. Better find you somebody to play with. That's how it's supposed to be done. You know what I'm saying? As you see something, I mean you got to do it every time. You know what I'm saying? But Chantel came on through, let it be known. Hold up. That's my people right there now. You know what I'm saying? Find you somebody to play with. She did that though. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get into it because I know the dude. I ain't really want to. It could have got, you know what I'm saying, a little further. So I didn't let you. I ain't want to get in on that though. I had to leave that alone. But Chantel, we appreciate you though. And she let that be known. That's my people now. Watch your mouth. You know what I'm saying? I know that's right though. That's what she told him though. And all intents and purposes. He ain't no agent. That's my people. But watch your mouth. Find you somebody to play with. Sometimes you got to do that about your people though. You better find you somebody to play with around here lying on mine. That's my people. Verse 23. Say, in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the fool, a king of the fierce countenance and understanding, dark sentences shall stand up. See, you sit back and look at it. The transgression was about to come to the fool in the garden too, wasn't it? And a man who came up understanding dark sentences rose up, didn't he? Because Satan understood dark sentences and got it funky behind up. And it said, his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully and prosper in practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the Kodesh people. So you got to understand something. Because he says our people become looking for the way to Zion. So when we come looking for our way to Zion, it's because things are about to get ugly. And this same, man, you got to sit back and look at it. The same thing you seen happen in the garden. When the transgression would come into the fool, somebody stood up understanding dark sentences. Because Satan understood the knowledge that Elohim gave to Adam, which he gave to his wife. You know what I'm saying? He understood that sentence. Let's sit back and look at it like we were talking about this here. With these people putting NyQuil, which is really that Greek god Nyx. You know what I'm saying? Or even Ceres for the word cereal. You know what I'm saying? And all this stuff. Or just the fact T just had told me, Brittany say she went to go buy bread. It wasn't even honey wheat bread. The people had honey in the bread. You know what I'm saying? Or how they slide pork, whether it be in the form of gelatin or however they slide it in and every type thing. These people understand the certain things that y'all's people are not allowed to do. You understand what I'm telling you? So they will try to slide this in to destroy the Kodesh and mighty people. You know what I'm talking about? So then when you turn around and you look at it, if I'm coming around and I say, hey, I'm a man of y'all, and you believe that. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm telling you, don't do this or don't do that. I'm telling you, the same way he told them, don't eat for this tree, you're going to die. It's the same reason why I tell y'all certain things, don't do this because you're going to die. You know what I'm saying? If I tell you, hey, you want to talk to this person, I say don't do that. Really, I'm telling you, if you do it, because you're going to die. See, sometimes I tell you to leave something alone. It doesn't necessarily mean it's permanent and it's forever. Just don't do it right then. Just leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? Just leave that alone. But when you try to go ahead and do it anyway, it's because you did just like Eve, it's youthful lust. Well, it seemed good to my eyes, you know? You know what I'm saying? See, she didn't do the will of her father. Because all intents and purposes, Adam was her husband, right? But he was also her father because he birthed her. You know what I'm talking about? And he told her exactly what to do. And she said, I know I ain't supposed to do that. But did she do the will of her father? No, she did not. You know what I'm saying? She did what she wanted to do. You know what I'm talking about? Saying y'all got to sit back and look at that. I know T. I know I did it with Mouse. I done it with Brittany. I done it with Brian. I done it with Little Muffin. You know what I'm saying? I done it with Lake too. Y'all come to me about something, I will let you answer the question that you asked me. You know what I'm talking about? I'll cause you to answer. So you can hear it out your own mouth. So you can fully understand and encapsulate in your mind why or why not you should not partake in a particular activity. You know what I'm saying? But y'all hear yourself say this stuff, but you go back on your own word. You know what I'm saying? And when you go back on your own word, I know the likelihood of you going back on y'all's word is high because you're not even remaining faithful to your own word. You know how dangerous that is? Very, isn't it? Very, very, very dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to sit back and look at the natural and the spiritual. I don't want you to teeter to the wrong side. You understand what I'm saying? Because somebody who can come up and understand just enough word, they'll be able to get you like this man in this Daniel 8 and how Satan got Eve in the garden, they'll be able to get you. You know what I'm saying? They'll be able to get you. See, this is why Mashiach say a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. Because remember, Moses was chief over all his house. Remember, we just looked at that on Atonement, right? On Yom Kippur, right? We just looked at that, right? I meant to talk to y'all about Kippur and the meaning of it and how Mashiach fulfilled it. Y'all will I do it on tomorrow. But he put it in my mind to talk to y'all about this tonight. We done hit a few verses, but we got to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? We done sat back and looked in a few spots. You know what I'm talking about? Of what we trying to express. But we got to actually put this into your brain. The reason why I put this into your brain, because again, I'm reiterating. Y'all decided to go ahead and take Brother Goldie's life. About what? About a week and a half ago, right? You know what I'm saying? And then he decided to, and then he was laid back to the dust from whence he came. So this reason why we have to come back and to reiterate to y'all, to bring home that point. Because what he did, he passed right before trumpets, or on trumpets. You know what I'm saying? So he died about 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? He passed on trumpets. He passed on the High Kodesh Day. You know what I'm saying? On trumpets. On trumpets. Every last one of us that's sitting in here on this phone or whatever the case may be, every last one of us that's in Jacksonville, Florida, was anticipating him coming for Tabernacle because everybody was ready to see him. And I think that goes for everybody. I don't think it's one single solitary person that's in Duval County city limits that was not ready and prepared to see our brother return for this feast. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loved it. You felt like you known it all your life. You ain't even know him that long. You know what I'm talking about? So now you turn around and you look at that. And then he took his life. Fighting a battle which if you even sit back and look at it, not saying that he did that, but just like when King Hezekiah was sick and he said, I'd give him 15 years, then people say that man was supposed to die. Y'all gave him 7 more. You know what I'm saying? He gave him 7 more. Y'all didn't. See, that's the key thing that the difference I reiterate. See, y'all didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? All y'all didn't know that. Only a couple people did. Now you turn around and now he gone. And some of y'all was like, oh man. And like I said, the difference of mentality war, some of y'all was focused on, boy, I got to get right. That could have been me. And some of y'all were worried about why he died. You know what I'm saying? When that really didn't matter. You know what I'm talking about? Well, y'all take you out of here anytime when he get ready. Ain't no need for him to explain to you why he did it. You know what I'm talking about? Don't mean you a sinner. Don't mean you not a sinner. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, don't mean you a sinner. Don't mean that you couldn't be a sinner. That doesn't mean that because somebody died. Everybody gonna die because of the curse. That's in the law. From dust you came, and from dust you shall return. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody is exempt from that. That's righteous and unrighteous, obedient and disobedient, faithful and unfaithful, Kodesh, unkodesh. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about? Every man, woman, and child that come from the womb has a date with the grave. Everybody. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, we know some of us will live to see Hamashiach at his return, whether they be Kodeshim or sinner. You know what I'm talking about? But y'all know what I'm talking about. Every single solitary. I'm talking about, I don't even want to say it just rough here to make it ringing in your mind, but guess what? Joshua Jordan, Leah, Iggy, Lizzie, they got a date with it too. You know what I'm talking about? The minute you all pushed him out the womb, Kingston, he got a date with it too. Lil Mike got a date. Lil Muffins got a date. They all got dates. Guess what? I got one too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sit here and take, it been days in my youth, boy, I thought about my death, and that was before I was in the street. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought about Lil Muffin's death in my lifetime. Sit back and thinking, boy, if a car was coming and they was bearing down to hit her, I'd jump in the way and lose my life so she could live. Yeah, I done had them thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. That yeah, I'll give my life for my little sister. Wouldn't even think twice about it. You know what I'm talking about? Because I know everybody got a date with the grave. Now, the key thing is, before you have a date with the grave, what you gonna do with the time before you got to go on that date? You know what I'm saying? It's like this here. It's over with for Brother Golden. There's no repentance in the grave. There's no hearing, no truth in the grave. That's what our words say. It's over with for him. The word that y'all wanted him to hear, he has heard it. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what? If somebody died just now, somewhere in the world, it's over with for them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't allow me to come up there to do what he would have preferred, what Goldie would have probably would preferred for me to do. We would preach at his funeral. You know what I'm talking about? Because he knew what I would have stood up in front of them and told them people. But though I couldn't tell them people at his service today, I'm going to tell y'all tonight. You just dealt with this man atoning for your iniquities and taking on that reproach and being that goat that lot of Yahuwah fell on to atone and take that sin away from him and the people. You know what I'm talking about? Well, y'all got to sit back and realize that, man, you can't be around here doing what you want to do. Y'all got to sit back and realize, man, this man tell you something, you need to do it. You know what I'm saying? If I tell you not to go a particular direction or not to do something or refrain from something, it's for a reason. It's not to be nasty. But if I got to be the bad guy, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care. You know, it's also sit back looking at, y'all just be patient. Everything will fall into place just how it got to fall into place. But you got to remember, we starting from nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of, we not taking these people money. You know what I'm saying? If we took these people money, anything you wanted, we could have it just like that. But we're going to lose our soul in the process. You know what I'm saying? In the literal sense, and in how people say that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got to look at that. You know what I'm saying? We got to look at that. Cause I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Even when dealing with saving with your soul, for all intents and purposes, that is your business. And it's something that you're doing from nothing. You know what I'm talking about? And you're building up and you're causing to create something out of nothing, which is you trying to create a godly being out of nothing. Because when we sinners, we nothing. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing like accomplishing of creating something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? The sense of accomplishment you'll get out of that is unrivaled. You know what I'm saying? I haven't ran anything close. Me personally, I know Arnold Schwarzenegger said the pump in the gym is better than sex. You know what I'm saying? He literally did say that. I will say, man, if you started something from the dirt, from the mud, and built it up and grew it, my personal opinion, because I've done it, that's better than sex. In my opinion, because I've done it. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to turn $40 into $15,000. You know what I'm saying? I've done that. It's nothing like it. Because you're going to be sitting back thinking about, boy, I remember them days, but when I had that 40, and I remember them days, boy, I had 200, and I flipped that 200, and next thing you know, man, you sitting here, man, 15 bands. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like it. I'm going to tell y'all something, too. It was a lot of long, huh? What'd you say? Man, it was, I'm going to tell you something, man. It was a lot of long nights, a lot of short days. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I ain't get to spend with Muffin like I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But hey, the end result was I accomplished what I set out to do. You know what I'm saying? It was some sacrifices made. It was some risks that were taken. It was some losses that were had. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? To make something out of nothing and know that you control it and you run it, ain't nothing like it. And when you sit back and look at saving your soul, you control that and you run it. And the success of your business is all contingent on you. And it's risks you're going to take, which is to be stepping out on faith and trusting in the Mashiach. You know what I'm talking about? And it's going to be losses you're going to take because there's things in this life that you're going to have to lose. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be long nights and short days because it's going to be arduous trips, meaning it's going to be a lot of work that's got to be done. When we talking about short days and long nights, it's going to be a lot of work that's got to be done. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of sacrifices going to have to be made. But at the end of the day, when it is accomplished, it will be worth it. It will be worth it. But you're going to have to be willing to do the diligence to build that business. I mean, you need to look at saving your soul in the same way you would look at running a business. If you don't look at it in that fashion, you won't achieve the result that you desire. Come over here to Ezekiel chapter 5. That's what I wanted. Even when we were talking about in the Jeremiah 50, you know, us wandering from mountain and place and forgetting our resting place. All to just sit back and look at it, we were just lost in the world going to and fro. We were sheep that had no shepherd. That's why he said we forgot our resting place. We forget a Mashiach sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff I've been wanting to preach on, and y'all will because I got y'all for the next 8 days. Really the next 9, if we count on tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because I got y'all Saturday afternoon. Y'all will. I got you Sunday night. I got you Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. Shabbat again 2 times. And then that Shabbat that night. And if I ain't going to do y'all like that. I'm going to let y'all live that Monday. If everybody want to hang out that Monday on that last Shabbat of Tabernacles, we most certainly can do so. But I won't preach that Monday in the daytime. I won't do that then. I'm not going to sit there and tell y'all that. I ain't going to do that then. I'm going to rest. Because y'all going to be working me. You know what I'm talking about? But I don't mind because it's a labor of love. But I'm going to tell you something. It's so many things that I be wanting to talk to y'all about. And one of those things was remembering about being a bondman. And I told y'all before, it's not hearkening on and dwelling on your sins and your transgressions, but remembering where you came out from so that you don't go back. See, we sat back and we looked at, it said in Deuteronomy 17 that the king was not to take the people back to Mizraim. They weren't supposed to go that way. That's why he say he that dwell in the Mashiach that we read in 1 John chapter 3 earlier, he said he does not commit sin because he know he was manifested to take away our sins. Because, there wasn't no king for us when Deuteronomy 17 was written. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have a king yet. So now we turn around and we look at this king's objective. His whole job is don't take them back to bondage. You know what I'm saying? Don't go back that way. See, what y'all problem is, and you could get your Romans 10 too, because I said I would go mention that while we in this Ezekiel chapter 5 about verse 7. And the reason why I mention that is because if we fall in the Mashiach, we will remember our resting place. See, we forget our resting place when we wander out and go to thinking about, it's Ezekiel chapter 4 and about verse 7. And we go to sitting back thinking about, I'm going to do what I want to do because that's just what I want to do and I don't care what you say. You know what I'm saying? Therefore thou shalt set thy face towards the siege of Jerusalem, and thy arm shall be uncovered, and thou shalt prophesy against it. You see what he said? Set your face towards the siege. You know what a siege is, right? It's a battle, an overthrow of people. And don't you realize that Mashiach set his face towards the siege? Because all them people were coming to kill him. And he said, your arms will be uncovered. And don't you realize in Isaiah 53 and 1, and he quoted it in John chapter 12, to whom is the arm of Yah revealed? You know what I'm saying? Because these arms, he said, and the key word he say, thine arm. You know what I'm saying? Thine. If he say thine arm, that's singular. Right, that's singular, right, gentlemen? So he was sitting here letting it be known in that siege, the arm of Yah was revealed because the arm is what fights for you. You know what I'm telling you? See, sometimes we forget that he fights for us. He already, I just talked to y'all about this, he already fought for us and got us the victory. Now we got to turn around and fight for him, which means resist. Just like we read in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, all that stuff was written for our admonishment. Let us take heed lest we fall. See, I got to be willing to sit back and realize what we were talking about. Yom Kippur, atonement, affliction, suffering. You know what I'm saying? Denial, self-control. We don't want to do that though. This is what he say now. And behold, I will lay bands upon thee, and thou shalt not turn thee from one side to another till thou have ended the days of thy siege. They put them bands on him, and it wasn't over till they killed him. Thou shalt also take unto thee wheat and barley and beans and lentils and millet and fitches, and put them in one vessel, and make thee bread thereof according to the number of days that thou shalt lay upon thy side. 390 days shalt thou eat thereof. Y'all can actually go buy that bread, right? I think that's the name of it, Ezekiel 4 and 9, Ezekiel 4, and they got cereal. I had the cereal. It is delightful. Nell bought that cereal once. I enjoyed it. Didn't eat the bread, though. But I did eat the cereal. Any of y'all ever had Ezekiel 4 and 9? It's literally made from all the ingredients that I just read in that verse. That's literally what's in it. Any of y'all had Ezekiel 4 and 9? Yeah, I haven't had the bread, but I did have the cereal. You had the bread. The muffin says the bread gets 2 thumbs up and a pinky. And a pinky. Verse 10, he said, and thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight, 20 shekels a day. From time to time shalt thou eat it. Thou shalt drink also water by measure, the 6th part of a hin. From time to time shalt thou drink it. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that come out of a man in their sight. And as you see something that he telling them to take bread and meat, don't that sound familiar to some of y'all? Take, eat. This is my body. But he told them to eat it with dung. Let's see what Ezekiel say. And Yahuwah said, even thus shall the children of Yasharal eat their defiled bread among the heathen, whither I would drive them. The reason why this came to my mind, because I was just sitting back telling you how they put honey in everything. Huh? Because the way me think about that defiled bread, when she just sat back and said that these people turn around and put honey in the bread. Ain't even honey wheat bread. Because the man already told you, you're going to eat defiled bread amongst these people. He already told you that. He said, then said I, Yahuwah, Elohim, behold, my soul have not been polluted, for from my youth even till now I have not eaten of that which died of itself, or is torn in pieces, neither came there abominable flesh in my mouth. Then he said unto me, Lo, I've given these cows dung for man's dung. Thou shalt prepare their bread therewith. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment, and that they may want bread and water, and be astonished one another, and consume away for their iniquity. So you sit back and you look at it, this is the same way we look at Mashiach. Mashiach said, I ain't never committed sin from my youth till now. Got to remember, Ezekiel's a high priest. This is a testimony of your king. But then the key thing is, look what he said what happened to us. We would want for bread and water. Amos 8. What you think going on over here in America right now? All these dudes out here preaching, and it's a want for bread and water. Amos 8 and 11. Ain't this a want for bread and water out here? You know what I'm saying? People think the word of y'all just easy to come by. You know, I was sitting there thinking about that. I can hear Brother Goldie's voice right now. The greatest story ever told. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I know y'all sit back and be like, y'all used to hear him say stuff when he would be talking to himself, but that's because he was putting stuff together in his mind on stuff that he was desiring to have answers on that nobody would answer. You know what I'm saying? Well, some of y'all ain't even sit back and realize, as y'all was hearing a man's faith being strengthened right before your face, and y'all ain't even catch it. And y'all ain't even catch it. And you know why y'all ain't catch it? Because y'all ain't never had those lingering questions and desire to know certain things as he did. You know what I'm saying? That sometimes y'all took the information for granted that you heard. And not only just taking, when I say taking for granted, not taking it to hear it and walk in it. Where it begins to transform your mind. Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah Elohim, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but for the hearing of the words of Yahuwah. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahuwah, and shall not find it. And then he just says y'all will be sitting around, they'll be looking for water, and they'll perish in their iniquity. Because if you don't believe that I am he, you shall die in your sins. That's what Mashiach told him in the 8th chapter of the book of John. Because you're going to have to believe, because he said, if you thirsty, come drink from me. Continual water, a continual indwelling of the spirit. And if you eat that bread, which is his flesh, which is that word, that he might dwell in you and you might dwell in him, and that you'll live by him as he lived by the Father. Because the key thing we're going to look at is, he said, I never ate nothing abominable from my youth up. You know what I'm talking about? See, you go back and look at his youth up, he didn't do that. Eve did, Adam did, you know what I'm saying? But you sitting back looking at an example of somebody who fleed youthful lust. I'm not going to do that. See, just because, y'all sit back and y'all think y'all grown. I know a reason why a lot of y'all think y'all grown, because you've been swinging your little penis and you've been tooting your little booty in the air. You know what I'm saying? So you think you grown. But see, there's two key signs of immaturity. Really, folks, lack of preparation. You know what I'm saying? Lack of patience, which usually leads to you doing stuff too fast and speeding. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking your time to do something. You know what I'm saying? Lack of following directions. You know what I'm talking about? And lack of humility. Those are signs of immaturity. You know what I'm saying? Mature people do not exhibit these characteristics. You know what I'm talking about? Immature people do. You have to look at that. I'll tell you this here. I'll tell you, like I said, well, it goes with humility. Because if you don't like nobody to tell you something, then you're not humble. That's a sign of immaturity. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all are grossly immature. You think you're not, but you are though. And the only reason why you still in that state is because you don't want to grow up. You're a Toys R Us kid. We gonna start right there. Praise ye Yah for Yahushua HaMashiach. Y'all understood this stuff this evening? We decided, no, I know we looked at a few things. We had to talk to you though. Y'all hear me though?